What is up, super fam and Brovengers alike? I am Sensei Finito, aka Vane Sensei, and welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture. And today, you already know what we about to get into, okay? This is The Wheel of Time, The Great Hunt, chapters 30 through 34. This is our From Watcher to Reader series, Season 2, Episode 7. I am so excited to get into this episode with you guys today. I hope everyone enjoyed the reading because I know I did. This was a crazy reading this time around. I'm not gonna lie, man. It was wild. This reading was absolutely insane. This is everything that I needed it to be and more. And I don't even say that lightly. I have been enjoying the reading so far, but I must say I do believe that this segment that we went into this week might be my favorite segment that we have had yet. Like, it was just so good. I love it. I just loved it. I had such a good time with it this week. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And y'all know that I love me some Perrin, and we gotta get a little Perrin POV a couple of times. Bro, we're gonna get into all of the itty bitty gritty giddy. You already know what we getting into. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like and share the stream because it helps out tremendously around these parts. You can also follow me on you can also follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with all things Marvel and everything pop culture. You can also follow me on social media at Sensei Finito to stay up to date with all my thoughts, theories, and opinions forever, whatever we getting into. And then also, you can check out that weekly podcast wherever you check out your podcasts at. Okay, and you already know, we rocking the Don't Be a Piece of Poop shirt today, you feel me? Or should I say, don't be a piece of shit shirt today, you know what I'm saying? So make sure, you know, just always remember to not be a piece of poop, all right? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. I know I am. If you guys are new around these parts, y'all don't know how we do things around here. So I'm gonna let you know. We, of course, are doing our From Watcher to Reader series, which means this is book club. You know what I'm saying? This is book club. If you ain't been around before, this is what we do, okay? And as I said on today's show, we're going to be continuing book club. But we start with chat talk, and that's when we are just talking to chat about how our weeks has been going and all that good stuff, what we're going to be getting into, and just all of that. And then after chat talk, we go into our overall thoughts, where we discuss, well, you know, how we felt about all of the chapters in their entirety, What in the what? Let me see. Bam. And then we're probably going to be talking about like overall thoughts and the book to show comparisons. And then after we do that, we're of course going to get into our chapter by chapter review and discussion. So again, I am really excited. To get into it today, and I definitely would like to know what chapter out of this segment was your guys' favorite. What chapter out of this portion of the reading was your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, let me see. Bam. Okay, I'm gonna just share this. I'm going to share the streamy weenie real quick on the Twitter Witter. You know what? Maybe I should try to go live on Twitter one of these times about Will of Time. So I can have... Because I can multi-stream to Twitter and YouTube at the same time. And is that something I should think about doing? Because, I mean, I know I'm not popping up in the algorithm for everybody, for all, you know, just regular Wheel of Time people. What am I doing again? Oh, I'm sharing the stream really quick. You guys. Give me one quick second. Here we go. Click that. Copy that. Season 2, episode 7. Okay, my bad. My keyboard was far, and I did not grab it for some reason. Hashtag Twitter of time, baby. At the wheel. There we go. I'm so sorry about this. Bam. Bam. Okay. And if you guys are following us on Twitter, go ahead and give that a like and a retweet immediately, okay? post that up there. I always mean to do that, and I always forget to. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as I have already said, and as I will say one more time, I hope all of you beautiful people are having a fantastic day. I got me some Dunkin' Donuts coffee right now. That's what I'm sipping on. Let me know what you guys are sipping on, what type of tea, coffee, or other type of beverage, you know, or what other type of thing that you may be doing at this particular time. You feel me? Let me know how everybody is doing. So yeah, let's get into it. All right. Let's put this back out of the way. Open that back up. All right. Lovely set of chapters. Yo, I definitely agree with that, KP. I do agree with that indeed. Oh, yeah, and then one more thing real quick. I think I'm going to actually do the reading this Friday. Probably... It's going to be Friday or Saturday around 3 o'clock. I can't remember if I have something to do this week. I know I have to take my daughter to the doctor tomorrow to finish her allergy panel thing. But other than that, I'm not sure if I have anything to do on Friday. And if I don't, then I will be doing the first 5 chapters reading. Wait. I will be reading the first 5 chapters of my book that I've, been working on and whatnot. I'll be doing that live here on YouTube, and then I'll take that live, and then I'll also post it to the Gifts the Lens of Gafora YouTube channel, just as a way to kind of get some people, just to put it out there like that. You know what I mean? Just to put it out there. And of course, this is a rough draft and all that good stuff, but that's something that I've been kind of looking forward to doing, and I'm really excited about doing. But I've also been, of course, nervous about doing, but ain't nothing to it but to do it. So that's kind of the biggest plan that I have coming up this week. As I said, Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure what day it's going to be exactly, but again, you guys will be able to tune in at either 3 p.m. PST or 5 p.m. PST on Friday or Saturday, where I'll be doing the first 5 chapters. I'll be reading the first 5 chapters of my book. I'm super pumped to do that. I'm happy to do it. I'm probably not going to be reading chat a lot either, because all that stuff will probably be like muted and turned off, so that way when going back, anybody that's listening to it is able to just kind of enjoy it without hearing anything that might be going on, or seeing. I might leave the chat up, like the bubbles to pop up, but I'm not sure. I might like to kind of remove all of that type of stuff just to make sure it's like basically a smooth recording as well as a stream, kind of like a double thing. Kind of like a double thing. And yeah, man. That just look forward to that, and I hope to see y'all there. For real. Okay. Yeah, again, what's up with it? How you doing? Brother? Hey, yo, peeps. I'm gonna be in and out of chat. I'm working on a list of safe Watt Idol parodies for our guy. Hey, I appreciate you, Thatcher. I definitely asked you. We were talking about that on the Twitter for surely. I definitely want to check those out. I saw Unraveling the Pattern posting about it, and he was like, yeah, bro, I'm going to be posting about this a lot from here on out. And I'm like, yo, that's lit. Like, I'm ready for it. Oh my, go. Yeah, I was on 5 times reading it. You know what I'm saying? Last week of school for the kids, and we're heading on vacation Friday, so lots to do. Oh snap, that's what's up, KP. How old are your little ones? I be forgetting all of y'all are a little bit older. I got 23 in a list. Let's get it. Oh, okay, KP. My guy said, I got you, Thatch. Head of the curve. Or YouTube playlist. That's lit. You can probably confirm them if you want. Book 2 spoiler level. But are we gonna put on the tea? What type of tea are you drinking? What type of popcorn you eating? Yeah, KP be on top of stuff, man. He be having stuff ready before we even know we need it. You know what I mean? Know an easy way to share a playlist? Yeah, you can just you can go to the playlist, like the page of it, and then you can copy the playlist and then just kind of paste it. You can either share it in the chat, you can share it in the Discord, any of the things I just was saying. I assume Discord. You assume correctly. Maybe we can have him listening to one tonight. Maybe we can do that for the full book roundup on episode 10. Season 1 or 2 winners were both friendly. Oh. He's already seen Ileana. It was an epic reaction. Yo, that was crazy. If you guys want to see that reaction, you got to go look at From WoTcher to Readers Season 1, and I believe it's episode 0 for that one. It's either episode 0 part 1 or part 2. I can't remember which one it is, but it's one of those. When did I miss that? Bro, it was a while ago. I don't know if... Were you here for Season 1, KP? I think you were in and out in Season 1. But yeah, that was like... Literally, that was the beginning of Season 1, KP. Yep, it was when we did the Eye of the World prologue. Exactly. Yeah, we watched the whole Billy Zane. That shit was crazy. It was hilarious. That was comedy. I'm not going to lie. That was comedy. I was rolling. Winter Night. Yeah, I think we watched Winter Night. I think that's what it was called. Hashtag Justice for Drew. Anyone else got summer plans coming up? You know, I'm gonna drop some music in the summer. I've been working on an EP. It's 5 songs. I think it's about 15 minutes long. 5 songs. I just got all of my mix and master. I just got all of the mix and mastered tracks back. So I'm going to be kind of like promoting that and doing stuff with that. Yeah. I don't know if, you know, I want to do a couple interviews and things like that if possible. And I want to shoot a couple music videos for some of them during the summer. Then I got another song, a single that I want to drop for Vane Esports. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about in the summer, but I haven't been like definitive on it, you know. But we're about to go into June, so I guess I got to make a decision. And then my son, my baby boy. Well, not my baby boy, not my youngest, but my almost youngest. His birthday is in June as well. So his birthday is on Father's Day actually. So that's gonna be dope. And that's kind of like the start of summer, if I'm not mistaken, June 19th, right? Hide from the Mississippi heat is hilarious. I'll be sure to wave when I quickly drive through Mississippi. I feel that. Oh, you're going to New Orleans for a day trip. Oh, you and the fam are on road trip status. What's that movie called? Man, I can't think of the movie where they go on a road trip. Damn. That movie's hilarious. Is it like Wally World or something? Or like, is it called Road Trip? I can't remember. There's so many road trip movies now that I think about it. Grab me a beignet. That's crazy. $12 and $15. Damn, KP. Your kids are 12 and 15? That's crazy, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. That's crazy. Hey, yo, my guy. What's up with it, man? How you doing, brother? I hope you're having a good one. How you doing, Lauren? I saw that Unraveling the Pattern pump up over there. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. I saw that orange logo pop up in the right-hand corner over there. I was like, wait a second. I know that logo, my guy. How you doing? I hope you're having a good one, Lauren, for real. I need to know all things Idol. You know what I mean? I need all things Idol. Sorry, folks. I'm back. Best way to share playlists is probably Discord link. Yeah. Yeah, you can, because you can make some public. Afraid of Black Pepper is crazy. You could probably nudge them towards the fried shrimp at least. Yeah, I like me some fried shrimp. Even as an adult, you can't pay me to eat fried shrimp, oysters. Oh, oysters? Nah, hell nah. I'm not an oyster guy. Yo, my mic was. Yeah, I didn't know my mic was on. I did not know my mic was on. I'm right there with you, Thatch. Hey, he was heading. No, I wasn't vacuuming. I had this. This is like a little blower to like clean off my desk. But like sometimes I be cooking under these lights, so I like turn it on so I don't die of a heat stroke. You know what I'm saying? Um, I was not boarding a plane. Thank you very much. Maybe his studio's going through a tunnel. Y'all be doing me so dirty. Boarding a plane, going through a tunnel. Y'all are ill. I have a small one that sort of counts. I wish that was the double one. I wish that was the one that doubled as a vacuum. Again, what's up with it, everybody? I hope everybody's doing good. I enjoyed we got to sit in a storyline this week. Yeah, I agree. It was very linear. Yeah, that's the correct word. This week's reading was very linear. Chapter 30 through 34. Really good set of 5 chapters. And again, like you're saying, it was very linear. It wasn't like, "Oh, we're over here, now we're over there." We finally got to have everything, coincide with each other. Um Oh, okay. 33 is your favorite chapter, KP. You're torn between 32 and 33. I feel that. I'd say 32. I love the fish out of water comedy. Yeah, okay. I can feel that, Marisu, for sure. I can feel that. That makes sense. Yo, what's up with the Kingler? How you doing? Welcome to the chat, brother. I hope you're having a good day today, for surely. I see you, brother. Amazing world and political expansion. Lots of random being a confident doofus. What's not to love? Yes. I'm gonna touch back on this point right here, Thatch, when it's time to do the overall thoughts. But because I really want to actually touch on that, I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste that into my little notes over here, just so I can remember it. Look, and then put the time and date and everything of what you said. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh. No wonder I couldn't see. I thought I was tripping. My glasses is so dirty. I would show y'all, but it's low-key embarrassing how dirty these are. I couldn't have cleaned these for a couple of days. That's the way it's looking, you know? I know that's not true, but that's the way it looks. All right. I can see now. Wow. Holy moly. That was insane. Yeah, but I definitely agree with it. I definitely agree with that comment. Anyone else hear the news that we get season 3 in the next 12 months? Ooh, I did not know that. That sounds awesome. I would be very happy about that. I know things have been taking so long in between, but I'm here for that, for real. Mega metaphysics implications from 33. Yeah, we had a lot to build on. In this one. Not gonna lie. Hopefully skeptical is a good way to be. Sipping some Ghost Dream Indica. Ooh, that sounds shiver me timbers. Is that like 2 rivers to back? Yeah, it definitely is. Matcha as always. Yeah, I know Marisu. You and the matcha tea. Y'all are close personal friends, right? Winter Night Parody is book 1 safe, so if you're up for it, that's an awesome one to start with. Yeah, I think that's the one that we watched. Again, if you guys want to watch that one, okay, wait. We watched that in From Watcher to Reader season 1, and I believe that is episode 0 again, because we were doing the prologue, and when we did episode 0, we listened to the entirety of the prologue, and then we watched a bunch of different Wheel of Time centered things in both part 1 and part 2. In part 1, I believe we watched that, and the other, I can't think of the other one. The other one, when they go to the place, when Matt and Rand are together and they go to that city, you know what I mean? We see that happen. And then we see that happen in that show, and that was really cool. I really like that, and I think we got to see that part in the book as well, and of course we did, but I was really happy we got to see when we got to that part in the book. I was like, yo, this is from the thing that we watched, and that was really dope to be able to kind of cross that over. Is there anything else? Oh, and then we listened to like a song, I believe, that someone made about Wheel of Time, and that was in part 2. So yeah, those are there. We're the Millers, Goofy movie, Vacation. Maybe it's Vacation. Vacation. Is that no, Vacation movie. Yeah, that is the one that I was talking about, actually. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, KP. Vacation. That's when he gets the terrible car. Yes, that movie had me rolling. I don't remember when I watched that, but that movie had me rolling. Yes, we do have a celebrity in the chat. Oh, yeah, we do. Big shout out to Unraveling the Pattern. I know all of you guys are already subscribed to Unraveling the Pattern, so I ain't even got to tell you to do it. But if you, for some reason, are not, go check out the GOAT. Go check out the GOAT. If you know anything Wheel of Time, you know about Unraveling the Pattern. I was trying to think of something to say to make it rhyme, but it just didn't work. Yeah, I can't do it. Winter Dragon. Sup, peeps? Rare chance for me to chill and watch. Hey, man, we're happy to have you with us. We are super happy to have you with us. Definitely can't wait for Why Idol. It's going to be amazing. Why Idol is one of my yearly highlights. Yo, how's Why Idol prep coming? Anything you could use help with? Hey, hey, shout out to Thatch. Things are looking good right now. We'll get crazier as we get closer, but I haven't had much time to think about it. Hey, super busy, right? Wish we got more of Deus de Mar in the show. I wish we got more of all of this section in the show. Literally, every single ounce of this part, I wish we would have got it in the show. Like, bruh. Yeah. Just heartbreaking. Yo, Sharice, how you doing, Miss Lady? I hope you're having a good one today or tonight, whatever time it may be, wherever you may be. I'm hopeful that they will bring Deus de Mar back around later on. I feel like Rand's naivete in season 2 could be setting up a full circle sort of political arc later on. I could see if they did that. I would be okay with that. I can understand them bringing Rand to his adult way or his like lordly ways in a different way like that. I guess that would be all right. That's another thing to put into my stuff over here. All right. I'm all caught up on chat. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all of you beautiful people for tuning in and showing up and all of that good stuff. And now, if you do not know, it is time to get into our overall thoughts, okay? It is time to get into our overall thoughts. Y'all already know. But before we do, let's get into it.
Six nations divided, how the gods envisioned the lands of Ghaphora, where nations must praise their gods individually. Inguvu, the god of power, Altira, the goddess of reality, Akasha, the goddess of space, Akaili, the goddess of mind, Nafasi, the god of time, Isarin, the god of soul. Each god bestowed their name and universal property to their nation through the blood of their land. Diligent praise to these gods, along with the blood of the land, allows the inhabitants of Ghaphora to wield the universal property of their god. These inhabitants are called gifts. it is forbidden for these nations to fraternize with one another. Gifts, the lands of Gafora.
That is right. That is right. That is right. We already talked about it. I ain't gonna talk about it again, other than right now. Y'all, probably this Friday we'll be doing some reading of my book. Tune in if you want to tune in. Okay. Overall thoughts. So, going into this chapter, going into this section, this segment, this portion, whatever word you would like to put there to explain what I am saying, I had such a... I was hyped to get into it because I could tell from where we left off that we were about to really start, ramping up the story and getting a little bit more deep into the things that we need to kind of understand. I guess wrapping up the story is the best way to put it, right? Like, we're really going to start seeing these threads start being actually woven together, right? And that is what we really got to see. I feel like a lot of these stories have been broken up this entire time. We haven't really got to see these characters together in a sense. I think we even talked about that within the last book when we were wrapping it up, right? We kept mentioning the fact that, I think you guys actually kept mentioning, hey, don't get used to everyone talking so much with each other, and don't get used to everyone being so willful to share information that they know. Because that is not something that we're going to see happen a lot of. And in this book, we actually see everyone be apart from each other the entire time. And I think that's much like how it is in season 2 of the show. Of course, we're going to be doing our book to show comparisons alongside our overall thoughts right now instead of keeping it at the end. So just to reel that back in season 2, we do see all of our characters separated from each other the majority of the time, right? Like, we see the characters end up being paired off. It's just in the show we end up having Rand by himself. Now, I've already talked about how I feel like Rand leaving his friends and leaving everyone in the show is what makes his entire arc be different. And I feel that way even more with this section of the chapters, because Rand is slowly becoming more and more accustomed to being that lord. I mean, I think there's even one part when he's like, oh, I gotta relax before I actually get, before I want him to call me lord. You know what I mean? He's like he doesn't need to bow. He could just call me lord. And he's like, wait. Why am I even thinking like that? I don't even mean that. You know what I mean? Because he's so wrapped up into it. And then when we finally get to see everyone kind of, end up joining back together again, it's like they see Rand and he is different, and we all know that Rand is different, but it's really cool to be able to see his friends and people who don't even know him that well all be able to see how different he is in that moment, And I know there was a moment when I was reading, and I'd be writing in the margins, I'm highlighting all of the things on my iPad. That is, I don't think I would ever deface a book, but my books, I should say. I wrote down why is he so just hard-headed against all of the things that everything that's happening around him? He is doing every single thing he can to deny what is right in front of him, right? He's like, no, that's not how that works. No, we're not doing any of that, and it's so obvious that is not the case. It's like, bro, everyone around you sees it, and you're acting like you don't see it. Why are we doing this, Oh, and he continues to just say, I'm a farm boy in every other sentence, and it is hilarious. And y'all know Perrin is my guy. I love me some Perrin. And when we see Perrin, I love the way he is just obviously staring at Rand and knows that something is different. You know, he knows something is afoot, if you will. He's like, and I love that I just love that. Because we know what's going on with Perrin. And then Rand looks at Perrin and he's like, and they both kind of know that something has been unlocked within them. And there's something about that just is like super, I want to say, I guess there's something very primal about that, right? And I know that Perrin's abilities do not stem from the one power in the same way that Rand's does, but power notices power, right? Like, power knows what power does. Like, power sees it. Like, it's like an instinct, right? That's why I said it's very primal, because it's like an animalistic instinct to know that there's someone in your vicinity that is also powerful. And it's like, that hits super hard. And again, just reading this, and the thing that I love the most is how Rand is unknowingly doing these things. That's the best way for it to happen. And that's why I feel like we missed out on that in the show. And I don't know how this book ends, right? So I might be I don't feel like I'm misspeaking, even though I'm not sure how this book ends. But when we end the show with Rand standing on the top of the tower, Moiraine has wrapped the dragon around the tower and has like they have both basically announced, like they're announcing that they are the Dragon Reborn, or he is the Dragon Reborn, right? Like, he is announcing that. There is no other way to even look at that. Like, it's like he hasn't done any of the things to become that lordly type of person yet, but he's the dragon already. And it's like if we end this book with him being the Dragon Reborn, it's like, oh hell yeah. But when you look in the show, it's like, damn, like, compared to what happened in the book, my guy basically is just, like, I don't want to say it like that, like, but it seems like in the book, he earns it, and in the show, it's almost more like nepotism. And I guess that's the simplest way that I can put that. That's how, like, that's the vibe that I get from it. Like, in the book, it feels like, yes, the pattern, like the wheel is weaving something, but in the show, it feels like, okay, here we go. I got it. The wheel is weaving a pattern in both the book and the show. But in the book, Rand is like super fighting against it, and in the show, Rand is just kind of like going with the flow. Like, there's not a lot of pushback or anything along the way. He kind of just like, yep, all right, I'm over here, now I'm over there, yep, I'm doing the things, yeah, we're vibing. But in the book, it's like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, like, you know, there's so much tension for every decision, for every choice that's made, and I don't feel like that weight, you don't feel that weight from Rand in the show. Like, you don't feel that weight. If Rand in the show is like, oh, he can go dark side at any second. He can just lose his mind right now. But you don't really, I never really felt that way about Book Rand in this, like, you know, within the same time span. Like, I called Show Rand Ranakin from like the third or second episode of the first season. Like, I'm like, whoa, the way bro's looking, like, he might go dark side. I haven't got Ranakin vibes once from Rand in the book, because, you know, like, he's just, it's like a completely different character. I don't know. I was rambling a little bit, but that's just how I feel about that. And this segment really, really, like, hit that home for me even more. But, and then, Egwene. You know, Egwene and all the Shan things that was going on. We about to end the book. I mean, I guess we got 20 chapters left, so, and a lot can happen in that time frame. But still, you know, it's just interesting, you know? It's just interesting. But that's how I feel. Let's jump into chat. I want to know how you guys feel about the things that I feel about, or how you guys feel about the things you feel about, or whatever I might be saying. Vacation is hilarious for real? Yes. Yes, that show is hilarious. And I love it. Oh, man. Let me see. I still think there was a lot more going on with Swan Moiraine that we don't know about yet in that episode. Okay, well, I do agree. Well, I'm not sure what episode you're talking about exactly. Let me see. I don't know if you referenced it, but I'm not sure what I was talking about. I said a lot. That's my bad. But I do think that, yeah, I do think that Swan and Moiraine's relationship in the show is a lot better. Like, there are definitely some better aspects in the show than in the book, and in the book than in the show. And I feel like Moiraine and Swan's relationship is freaking amazing in the show, and you don't feel that same level of it in the book, but it's like, you know, Chevy is named after his estranged grandfather, Cornelius Crane, heir to the Crane Company fortune. Weird, I know, but worked the family's old summer home, so I know too much about that niche nonsense. That's hilarious. Love how Rand is just starting to learn about the upper class and how to deal with them. I love how, yes, and then he's immediately like indoctrinated into them. Like, he's immediately looked at as upper class. And that's like, it's so, it just works, man. It just works. The one, like, him being the one works so good in the book. It's just insane. I love how naive he is here, but so earnest at the same time. Truth. He does do there is a very good balance, or a good combination of those two things. I love how Rand fits in as long as he's confident. It reminds me of wine testers who consistently can't tell the difference between $10 wine and $1,000 wine. Yeah, that's a good point as well. I'm not gonna lie. He's getting in where he fits in, but he's also faking it until he makes it. He's doing like both of them at the same time, and that's just lovely. Like, just amazing. Rand is doing his best and totally stumbling through it. Yes, that is the best way to put it. He is doing his best, and his best is fantastic. The shoe fits now. Yeah, he's having his Cinderella moment. RJ said he wanted the story to come from the perspective of someone who is told, you're the survivor of the world, and they basically say, you're the savior of the world, and they basically say no thanks and deny it for a long time. And that's amazing. Yes, the reluctant hero. That is amazing. That is so beautiful to even be able to portray it in the way that he has in these first two books. I can't believe there's 12 left. That's just insane to me that there are 12 more books after this. Like, I feel like we could be getting to the end of the story right now. Like, the entire story could just be wrapped up in these next 20 chapters. And I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like that is how good this is written. Like, the ending feels concise. You get a whole story, but you're of course gonna want more. But you know how sometimes you like, okay, well, I watch like a lot of short story type of stuff, like Alter YouTube channel or Dust, Love, Death, and Robots, you know, all those different types of things. And in those stories, they always are a very cohesive story that is open not only to interpretation, but open to more expansion for the rest of the world after you like consume that bit or that piece that you were in, right? And that feels like how this is, but on a grander scale. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that's how I feel. I feel like that's what's going on there. You're referencing the interview after the Great Hunt audiobook, I believe. Oh, hold on. I need to see. I can't wait to go back and listen to interviews. I was just talking about that in Mike Beasley's Discord. I need to start listening to some interviews a lot more for sure. I have not been listening to enough interviews for whatever reason. To be fair, in the book you get character POV and thoughts, while the show you only see what's shown, and the show doesn't have as much time to devote to just Rand. I feel what you're saying, and how are you doing, Quee? I hope you're having a fantastic day as always. But I feel what you're saying, but I feel like we do get a lot of time with Rand. I feel like we do get a lot of, I really feel like they could have spent as much time with Rand as we did already and done a lot of the same things, because he was like, he spent so much time, and is that Carrion where he was with Celine? He spent so much time there, and in that time, we could have kind of been like going from one thing to another, or you know, kind of going from one place from episode to episode to another place. We could have fit that in for sure, and then just flipped it a little bit, you know, and. I mean, bro, the way that they even did Celine, oh man, I just, there's so many things. Like, I am very, it's so weird going from being a watcher to a reader. I feel like this is like the first time, I think this is the first time I've ever done something like this. It's like going from watching something and then actually reading the source material. And really reading where everything is coming from. It's like man, like I feel like I've never done this before in the reverse, and it's so refreshing, and it's kind of insane. It's just kind of insane to see all of the differences and all of the similarities, and it's like, oh, so that's why they did that. Oh, they did that for that reason. You don't really get to get that perspective too often. And for me, I never have. But I do feel like we could have spent a little bit of time with Rand. We could have spent the same time that we were spending with Rand already and still found a way to make him get those vibes of being a lord somehow. Like, I really feel... I feel like the small change of just keeping Loyal with Rand would have actually made that path go, like, continue going. You know, I think Loyal is a very pivotal, a very, jeez, by the light. Loyal is a very pivotal piece, role, pillar in Rand becoming more of a lord, because no matter how Rand feels, he feels responsible for Loyal being with him. Same with Huron. Like, him not having those two with him is so crazy to his entire arc. Like, it just changes so much, and I'm like, whoa, what the what? Like, whoa. Showran has yet to make choices for taking on the responsibility. Say that shit then, KP. They still been more of a thrust upon him, except for the trying to rescue Egwene. Yes, and this is and him going to rescue Egwene in the story, when Rand goes to rescue Egwene in the show, when Rand goes to rescue Egwene, right? Like, you can see that they wanted to use that moment in the book of him going to try to rescue Egwene, but it's like he didn't really need to because the thing had already happened. But instead, the thing that had already happened in this is her being rescued. So it kind of took away his entire journey, because his only reason to make that journey then was actually just to be there. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is about it, but it just made it's a little weird. Oh god, I remember being on book 13 and thinking they couldn't possibly wrap things up in one more book. Oh no. I have a lot of online Q&A stuff we can go through, but most of it is books 4 through 7. Oh, we'll be there soon enough. Love seeing Tom in his element too. Hints of his past life. Yes, I for real, Lauren, for real. I agree, UTP for sure, for sure. Because again, that was lit to see. I was like, yo, because it's like the thing that I thought was right, you know, because there's just so many hints to it up until then, and then you see it happen, and you're like, he is a badass. Like he really is a badass. We actually get to see him be even more of a badass than we thought he was, because it's in that moment of like pure raw emotion, right? And it's like, oh yeah, like he's tripping, he's gonna murder this man and he deserves to die, like that, you know, like yeah. Think about it like this: 8 seasons with 8 episodes is about 64 hours. That's like 2 audiobooks. That should give you an idea of how much they have cut. 8 seasons with 8 episodes is about 64 hours. Damn, you saying that alone is kind of like, damn. I mean, just this past, not a previous life. Uh, yeah. No, I got you. Good clarification. You gotta love specifying past life, but in a world without confirmed reincarnation. Yeah. Yep, I feel that, yo. I feel that. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I love it. I love me some this. And now let's get into the actual thing. I'm a jigger, y'all. Oh, almost knocked over my coffee. That's cold now. That's cold now. That's cold now. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, yo. I'm gonna warm up my coffee real quick, and then we can get into the chapter by chapter review and discussion. If you guys are new in the chat, let me know what chapter out of 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34 is your favorite chapter, okay? What chapter is your favorite in this portion? Let me know, and I will be right back. Look at that. I was right on time. Warmed up the coffee, filled up the water. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are all doing lovely, having good days, good nights, a good week. It's hump day, as we all know. And y'all already know about y'all already know about hump day. Man, it's been a good week. And I'm ready to make it a better week, all right? So I hope everybody's doing good. Let's get into it. It is now time for the portion of the night where we get it popping. Okay, check that off. Check that off. Bam. I am so excited, yo. I don't know why I'm so happy, but I am. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into
Chapter 30. Dies de Mar.
Yo, this was fantastic. These chapters, oh no. No way, I just went all the way back to the top. I did this last week. No. Damn you, iBooks. Okay, here we go. All right, my bad. Here we go. We start this lovely chapter off with talking about the Illuminators, right? It tells us that the Illuminators was on everyone's tongues. No diddy. In the city, even now, days after the night when they had lofted only one night flower into the sky, and that early, right? So they also go on to say that the Illuminators had not so far to admitted that there had even been a fire in the first place. And I'm like, why are fireworks so secretive? That is the first thing that I have a question about. I'm like, what's going on? Why? Okay, first and foremost, the Illuminators is an amazing name. That is an amazing name. Top 10 name right there for something. Like, for it, are they really just people that work with fireworks? Or is it the fact that they work with, like, explosives that they have to be super secretive because they don't want anybody just, like, making bombs? I can understand that. That makes sense. But still, you know, I'm like, what's going on here? Literally, I was like, what's happening? And then, of course, we have the part where Huron bows deeply as any Kyrian, right? And Rand's like, I love that Rand takes a breath, and then him and Loyal just look at each other. And he's like, he's like, hey, bro, humans is gonna human. I love that. That is so. It's just funny to me because even Loyal is like, this guy is tripping. He needs to relax. Even Loyal of all people, even he's like, yo, this guy, he needs to chill a little bit. That was just comedy to me. That was just comedy. I love that. And then Rand thinks, he's like, I want him to unbend and call me Lord again. He was like, Lord Rand, wait. We have to get out of here before I start wanting him to bow. Like, bro, what? I love that. Again, hilarious. And then Huron says something that made me be like, is he, what's the word? What's the word? It's not hypnotized, but it's like he was hypnotized. If I don't do, he's like, it's your right, my lord. If I don't do the way you want, it's your right to shout. Like, bro, snap out of it. That's what I wrote in the margin. Snap out of it, Huron. What are you talking about, my boy? Like, snap out of it, bro. You know this isn't how it works. And then Huron snaps into it though to start getting in, to start getting active. And then we find out here that Rand has now received 2 letters. He has received 2 letters. One from Lord Barthanes, and Lord Damodred, right? No. He's the High Seat of the budget. And the other one is from the King. My bad. What's the King's name? I don't see the King's name here. I think it just says the King at this moment. So maybe they tell us his name later on. Yeah. So Rand gets two letters. One from Lord Barthanes, and then the other one from the King Galdrian. Thank you very much, Marisu. And then he's like, bro, you're not going to be able to get out of this like you've been able to get out of your other ones. You can't just burn these in the fire. You're not going to get out of this scot-free like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you. It is not going to be just that easy. And they go into talking about that, and he asks, he's like, can I accept them? Loyal says you should accept them both. And then again, Huron's like, bro, y'all don't know what you're talking about. And that's something that I really enjoyed. You know, in the show, Celine takes on the role of both Huron and Loyal for Rand. Not a fan. They bring so much to the table. And I am so sad that we do not get to spend time with Loyal and Rand, Loyal, Huron, and Rand. Like, Loyal being with Perrin, it's cool and all. But Loyal spending his time with our boy already, I can't think of his name, I'm so sorry, Elias. Perrin spending that time with Elias, it means so much more than him spending time with Loyal, my boy. Like, him and Loyal aren't even cool like that and you can see it in the show, like, they don't have that bond, but it's like, it's still there. It's okay. It's okay. But I'm like, man, even when we get to see Loyal and Rand together in the show, it just feels so, you feel that vibe, like, if the vibe is there. And Perrin is a little bit too Eeyore-ish to kind of have that same type of connection with Loyal. It's unfortunate. No, I don't want to take any screenshots. Get out of here. Let's see. Oh, and we get a little bit of lore. House Damodred held the throne until Lamon lost it. Now they want it back. The king would crush them if they weren't as powerful as he is, or nearly as powerful as he is. And he said you can't accept both because it's going to be chitty chitty bang bang. Again, lore, world building, politics out the wazoo right off the back. It's beautiful. It's another thing that we didn't get to see in the show. Circling back to Thatcher's early comment, amazing world and political expansion. Lots of random being confident. Yeah. Lots of being a random confident doofus. What's not to love? But the first part of that is something I really want to focus on, that amazing world and political expansion. The politics are setting in a little bit more brick by brick as we move deeper into this story, as we're moving deeper into this world. And of course, it's only book 2, and there's so much lore that's been dropped on us, and we're also getting spoon-fed other lore. Like, let's go. There's so many categories of lore. It's like, okay, you're getting the world lore, now you're getting the political lore, now you're gonna get the geographical lore, I believe that's the word, and then you're also gonna get the metaphysical lore, and then you're also gonna get, you know what I mean, and then you're getting like, so, and it's like RJ the whole time is whipping up a meal, and he's giving you bite sizes of this, but he's giving you a whole portion of that, and then it's like, it's just at the end of it's just so good. It's like, you're getting a full 10-course meal, or in this case, a 14-course meal, and each of those courses are also sectioned or segmented into their own courses that are also segmented into their own sub courses as well. And it's just like this is delicious. This is delicious. Can I have some more? Let's see. Oh, and then Rand, he plays his little game of going into the room, pulling out the invitations, looking at them, tapping the seals just so everyone knows he hasn't opened them, putting them back away, and then walking out. I dig that. And then early on here, Loyal says, I suppose it is too bad we could not reach Stedding Sofu. Trollocs would never come into a Stedding, but I don't suppose they would let us get that far without attacking. And I'm like, holy shit, are we going to a Stedding? Like, that's immediately what I wrote in the margins. I'm like, is that what is happening? Let's get it. Oh, and then we go into meet, what's his name? I don't know what bro's name is, but bro is acting straight up foolish. He's like, yo, do you know where Lord Ingtar is? He's like, who? Do you know where Lady Celine is? He's like, who? Do you know where Captain Caldevwin is? He's like, who? Like, bro, that is hilarious, bro. Hey, that's someone that you want on your side right there. That's someone that you want on your side. So that's the person that's a ride or die right there. And then Rand, for once, he's like, Caldevwin was there. He could be lying about all of it. Ingtar could really be here looking for us. I'll bet he knows who Celine is, too. And again, I'm margin. Wow, he thinks rationally for once. Like, Rand, I'm like, wow, let's go, Rand. You actually thought of something, like, right here. Because before, he'll just be like, I wonder why he was acting like that. That was kind of interesting. And oh, maybe it's just because of the game. Like, bro, I don't. It's like, bro, come on. And then we have this part where Rand is like kind of talking and thinking, and he's like, they think I'm a lord, and in Kyrian, even Outland lords are part of the game. I wish I'd never put on this coat. Moiraine, he thought bitterly. And in my head, I just was like, Megan. You know what I mean? Drake and Josh type of vibe. He's like, Megan. Like, that's the way he's thinking every time. And then, as he's like going off and complaining, Loyal is like, Taverin? And he's like, okay, bro, I don't want to hear any of that. Like, I don't want to hear any of these things. Please cut it out. He's like, stop it right now. And margin, I love me some Loyal because, bro, he is hilarious. Loyal is hilarious. He be having me literally rolling because he's always just, he's always yapping, but it's not yapping. Like, it's all exposition. But you just be yapping, bro. I'm like, yo, relax, my guy. And then we have this moment when he was like, again, when he's like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that either. Rand started, he goes, I don't want to hear that either. All I want is to give the dagger to Matt and the horn to Ingtar. Then what? Go mad? Die? If I die before I go mad, at least I won't hurt anybody else. But I don't want to die either. Lan can talk about sheathing sword, but I'm a shepherd, not a warder. If I can just not touch it, he muttered. Maybe I can. Owen almost made it. Like, bruh. Like, I love that. I love that paragraph. It is him going through all these emotions. If I can just not touch it, maybe I can. Owen almost made it. Like he's thinking, his mind is racing. His mind is racing, trying to connect the dots, trying to see if he can get more time, trying to find more time. And I did not want that to rhyme, but it did. but it did. And margin, it's so hard to determine when he's spiraling. But because it's like, on one hand, these are very valid thoughts to have when you're in this type of situation. But on the other hand, it's like, we know that you're losing it, buddy. You know? Like, we know you're going through it, buddy. We know. So that just was a moment that I really enjoyed. And then we find out. No, and then there's a fire. Dark friends. Trollocs can't come inside the walls without being seen. But dark friends. Huron! And I was like, oh, no, not Huron. Please, please. I was like, I can't. Literally, at this moment, I'm like, I can't handle this. I cannot handle this. Please, bro. Please. Literally. I was like, please, Huron cannot be dead. That's all I could think. Rand rushed through the crowd to the innkeeper. Where is Huron? I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, Huron would not leave. He would have not left. Margin. OMFG, is Huron dead? I'm going through it. I am spiraling at this moment the way that Rand was spiraling. Rand dropped to his hands and knees on the stairs. I'm like, bruh, they are moving. Him and Loyal, they start army crawling into the room. Yes, I love this. And then the door to Huron's room had not caught yet. And when he pushes the door open, the first thing to meet his eye was Huron sprawled on the floor. And then Huron opens unfocused eyes. Lord Rand, he murmured faintly. And I was like, oh dear God. Like, I was like, oh my God. I was like, yo, what's going on? My chest. Like, bro, I could not deal. His eyes rolled in the back of his head. Rand felt for a heartbeat and sagged with relief when he found it. Oh my goodness. Like, oh, what's going on? I'm going through it. I'm struggling at this point. I am just at a loss for words. I just don't know what to do. I just don't understand. And then, of course, Loyal's like, bro, I'm not leaving you. You can't carry him. I'm putting him on my back. And then even when he went in there, he's like, you're not going to be able to carry the chest and him. Like, you need me. Let's go. Let's stop talking and let's be about action. My guy, Loyal, man. Loyal and Rand are homies. Like, Loyal and Rand are like, they're the guys. It's like Han Solo and Chewie, but if Chewie was like a super high intellectual 150-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking mess, but you know what I mean? Like, bruh, but better. It's like Han and Solo, it's like Han and Chewie, but a little bit better. It's like the nerd version. And that's something to say, I think. And then the Ogier crawled into the hall with his burden, and Rand started after him. Then he stopped, staring back at the connecting door to his room. The banner was still in there. The banner of the dragon. Let it burn, he thought. And an answering thought came as if he had heard Moiraine say it. Your life may depend on it. She's still trying to use me. Your life may depend on it. I, Sedai, never lie. With a groan, he rolled across the floor and kicked open the door to his room. Margin. He's a fucking hero. Like, that is what's happening right here. This is heroic shit going down. Like, he is a fucking hero. That's what's going on, man. That's just what that is. That's just what that is. and then he goes in, he gets all the stuff that he needs to, and then I like this bit of lore right here. He tried to, is there a wisdom nearby? Rand demanded. He needs help. The woman looked at him blankly, and he tried to remember the other names he had heard people call the women who would be wisdoms in the two rivers. A wise woman, a wise woman, a woman you call mother somebody, a woman who knows herbs and healing. I am a reader, if that is what you mean, the woman said. Love it. Love it. Again, I love the... I talked about this with the songs, right? Songs have different names. Songs have different connotations and stuff within the different realms that they are within the different countries or the lands or the towns, whatever you want to call it. They're all different. And this is a beautiful way to let us know. You know, a beautiful way to let us know that. Rand, it is you. Rand stared. It was Matt. Face was pale and drawn, but still Matt, and grinning, even if weakly. And behind him came Perrin, his yellow eyes shining in the fire, and earning as many looks as the blaze. Ingtar dismounting in a high collared coat instead of armor. It's too late. You came too late. Margin. Damn. Ha. Like... It happens so subtly and abruptly at the same time. You know, it's like, it's subtle but abrupt. And it's always those things. It's always like a sweet and a sour. A sour, a sweet. A salty and, you know what I mean? A salty and a savory. It's always two of these things mixed together. Like a perfect meal, man. You like how I circled that back around to the food stuff? You know what I'm saying? A little sprinkle. But, man, chapter 30. Fantastic. Really did love it, you guys. I loved me chapter 30. Let's talk about it. Let me know how you guys felt about chapter 30. Let me get a 1 in the chat if you liked it. Let me get a 2 in the chat if you did not like the chapter. And I want to know what you liked about it and what you didn't. Let's talk about it. What do you mean? He said it himself. How he could hurt? What? What do you mean? He said it himself. How he could hurt someone? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that was in context to. I'm sorry. Fireworks were fairly secretive in the 15th century China. Ooh. Okay. Okay, Marisu. I see you dropping real life lore on me. I appreciate it. I love real lore. Your boy did not pay attention in history class, but now I regret it. I mean, if they would have showed me these dope ass YouTube videos that be out when I was in high school, I would have aced it, bro. I would have aced it. I retain information so much better from video wise rather than like reading things. What comes from fireworks? I feel that. I love how they were able to at least hint the letters in the show. Yeah, KP, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that how Moiraine's sister gets in contact with Rand as well? There was at least 2 or 3 moments where I thought of that going on, but I didn't really connect it. Yeah, it is a great Easter egg. I agree. Yo, what's up with it, Occam? How you doing, ACM? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Sitting around doing nothing, and therefore even the highest nobility are interested in him is hilarious. Yeah, I love that too. I'm not gonna lie. In the show, they changed the character to Queen Galdrian and claim she and Barthanes are getting married. I love that they remind us that Barthanes and Moiraine are related in the show. Okay. I like that. Okay. That is dope. I forgot all about yeah, that's like a huge thing. That's lit. I love how many people compare Perrin to Eeyore. Yo, they Eeyore'd my boy up in the show, and I don't feel like he was Eeyore in the book. I still like both versions, but you know, yeah, huge politic lesson for Rand. I agree. I believe we only get Moiraine's last name in the glossary at this point. Is that right? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, and it's very much not pointed out that Moiraine is a Damodred. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, Megan. I just checked, and Moiraine's last name isn't even in the glossary. It's definitely in the show, though, or I'd be worried about spoilers. Yeah, it is in the show. And I didn't make that connection entirely, but then I was like, "Oh yeah, Barthanes is in the show." And then I was like, "Duh, yeah, missed up." I think it shows up book 3 glossary for some reason. Okay. So much of that internal dialogue was shown with Rand and Logain in season 2. Yo, Lauren, that's a good connection again, because when it comes, I think that's something that I do appreciate a lot, is that a lot of the internal dialogue in these books was actually things that we got to see happen. Like a lot of the things that happened internally or that occurred off screen, like the things that occurred off screen and internally, we got to see those things in the show, and it works really well. Oh Lord, it's a fire. Huron is my favorite minor character. Yeah, I agree. He is fantastic. I like me some Huron. He goes hard. Huron goes hard. I was crushed when I thought bro died. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, bro, I'm not in the right headspace for my boy to die today. I was like, bro, like when they said they was sprawled on the floor, I was like, dear God, no. Loyal is loyal. It's in his name. Say that again. Imagine Chewie reading books. Chewie, because Chewie just plays that crazy game, right? Like, does anybody read books? I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, like, I don't even know if books exist in the same way in the Star Wars universe as they do for us. Like, it's only like ancient texts that are actually written down normally, right? Everything else, they have like a freaking iPad thing that they like read or something. Same difference though. Chewie is a 250-year-old war hero. I imagine he's well read. Really enjoyed the fact that different cultures called the same thing by different names. Yes, that exactly. I appreciate that so much. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because that's how it happens. That's how it happens. I mean, even in my day-to-day life, like the things that I talk about where I live in the Central Valley, down like in Modesto or in Fresno or in other places, they have different names. There's different slang, right? There's different slang for different things, like all around the world. That's how it goes. I mean, we say hella in Cali all the time, and that is not something that is understood by really anyone else. Like, they be like, hella, what does that mean? And I'm like, bro, it means what it means. Like super. It is a sentence holder for super. How about that? But yes, again, I love it. I love it. And yes, the band is back together. The band is back together indeed. And with all that being said, it is time to move on and handle the next chapter. And that is... Oh. I knew that was going to happen. And that is...
Chapter 31. On the Scent.
On the Scent. And this emblem is a rising sun. The last one was... I missed the last one. Okay. Let me just chill out before things start tripping. There we go. So the first thing we notice is that Varen is there with them. You know, like we know that Varen's with them, but of course it's not what we think of immediately. We don't think of it immediately because the first people that we see are Rand, Perrin, and Inktar, and then we see Varen, and it's like, oh yeah, Varen is like an Aes Sedai, like, whoa. She obviously looks worried and fearful of what's going on. And then we learn that basically Varen, I forgot I have my coffee. Oh, Varen basically puts a little charm spell on the dude that wasn't dropping any information. Matt said that she whispered into his ears, and then I couldn't hear what she said, but I know whether his eyes were going to pop out of his head or he was going to swallow his tongue first. All of a sudden, he couldn't do enough for us. He told us where you were waiting for us and right where you were staying. Offered to guide us himself, but he really looked relieved when Varen told him no. He snorted, Lord Rand of House Althor. And then he goes, and then he tells Matt that he had the dagger, but the Dark Friends took it back. And then Matt's like, well, I never had it in my hands, so I guess I never really lost it. I never really lost it, excuse me. And that's hilarious. Oh, and then he was like, yo, we'll find it again. We have two sniffers now. Perrin is one too. And I just thought that was hilarious how he just drops that. Just, oh yeah, Perrin's also a Perrin's also a sniffer. Don't worry about it. Like, he followed the trail, and he just followed the trail. And then Rand glances at Perrin. He's a sniffer. And as he looks at Perrin, Perrin is looking at him. I love that. I love that. And then Perrin muttered something. Shadow killer. What? What? Rand is the shadow killer from the last section that the wolves were talking about seeing slaughter. Bro, what? Like, I was in disbelief. I was truly in disbelief. I was like, yo. Rand? Rand is the shadow killer? It made me so hype. Like, I got so hype. Bro, that's lit. That is lit. That is so awesome, bro. Like, let's go. Like, that's so crazy, bro. Like, he's like, what? What's happening? How do wolves know who you are? What the hell have you been doing? What the hell have you been doing? Bruh, like lit. Oh man, I love it. And then we also like right after we see this, we see another amazing representation, I guess, of how powerful or how infamous the Aes Sedai are. Because as quiet as they had been, like the carrion reader rose. Aes Sedai, she said softly. Varen inclined her head, and the reader made a full curtsy. As quiet as they had been, the words Aes Sedai ran through the crowd in tones ranging from awe to fear and outrage. Everyone was watching now. Not even Quail gave any attention to his own burning in, and Rand thought a little caution might not be amiss after all. Whew. Yo. Liddy McJitty. Like, let's go. I love it. I love it. All of that is fire. And then Loyal, he gets used to walking because of all the stuff that's been going on. Another thing I just loved, because like, bro, he doesn't need to ride a horse when he's just as strong and powerful, if not more strong and powerful than a horse. Like, bruh, that's like if you're just chilling, you know? I feel like that's just if you're chilling. But I love that he's like, man, I miss, you know, he grown used to walking again. I just love that, bro. Because he's walking fast. He can run fast as a horse, too. Like, he moves quick. Doesn't he pick up a horse and run with it at one point? Or am I tripping? Didn't that just happen last week? Like, bro is not a guy to play with. And then as the band is back together, they're kind of just roaming through the town. And then Loyal reminds Rand that the Dark Friends won't be able to open the chest because if they could, they would have just taken the horn instead of taking the entire thing. And then again, here's a great part. And then Rand nodded. They must have put it in the cart or on a horse. Once they get it beyond the foregate, they'll join the Trollocs again for sure. You will be able to follow the trail, Huron? I will, my lord. Then you rest up until you're fit. Rand told him. The sniffer looked steadier, but he rode slumped, and his face was weary. At best, they will only be a few hours ahead of us. If we ride hard, suddenly he noticed that the others were looking at him, Varen and Ingtar, Mat and Perrin. He realized what he had been doing, and his face colored. I'm sorry, Ingtar. It's just I have become used to being in charge. I suppose I'm not trying to take your place. Mans was giving orders, bro. I love it. He was giving orders, and they all were listening to the orders. Every single one of them. They were like, oh, they were surprised. But if he wouldn't have apologized and just was like, had been confident and been like, yo, do that, everyone would have did it. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that's what would have happened. Tell me a moment like that from the show, please. I'm looking for it. Mans was giving straight up orders, and then Ingtar's like, at least you actually managed to touch the horn, bro. I'm not even mad. Yeah, I'm not even mad. I just love it so much, yo. I love it. It just works so well. And then Rand is like noticing that Varen's there, one of the three Aes Sedai that he could trust to not try to gentle him. One of the three who wanted to believe he was the dragon. She's Moiraine's eyes watching me, Moiraine's hands trying to pull my strings, but I have to cut the strings. Like, bro is always thinking 30 steps ahead, or at least he's always trying to. And I appreciate that. That is something to be that is something to be noted, you know? That's something to be noted for sure. And then this part made me literally crack up laughing. He gets out of the bath, he gets out the shower, bro's clean. He gets his clothes from the servants or whoever they are. They bring him his stuff. He towels off and opens the bundle and sighed. As soon as I read that, I was rolling. I was like, oh, Mans forgot that Moiraine packed his clothes. Like, he forgot. I can just see it. Like, he opens it and he's just like, bro. Bro, that's so funny. Moiraine's hands are trying to pull my strings, but I have to cut the strings. God damn it. Like, bro. Like, the clothes that Moiraine packs out for him. Bro, I was in here cracking up because that's funny. That's funny. That is funny. Whew. Out of his options, he chooses the black coat. with silver hair. The silver heron stood out on the high collar with silver rapids running down the sleeves. Water battered to froth against jagged rocks. Beautiful line. Water battered to froth against jagged rocks. I might have to put that in the book. Yo. And then Rand says then he thinks he's a shepherd whom Aes Sedai were trying to use, a man doomed to go mad if he did not die first. And margin, why doesn't he believe? Does he think that Baal-Zaman and the Aes Sedai are on the same side lying to him? Like, I'm like, bro, what makes you think you're not the Dragon Reborn? Like, what is his evidence? I need to know what he is thinking. Like, other than him telling himself consistently that he is a shepherd, other than that, what is the evidence? What is the evidence? Like, what is the evidence going on? And then we get a POV switch to my guy Perrin, my main man. Let's go. My main man Perrin. Lord, I'm sweating. See, this is why I got this up in here. See, and then that's why I be like, sometimes that's why I'll just mute it. And then we back in action. And then Perrin, again, Perrin slouches at the table, studying his hands clasped on the tabletop to his nose. Clasped on the tabletop to his nose. The room smelled of beeswax used to polish the paneling. It was him, he thought. Rand is the shadow killer. Light, what's happening to all of us? His hands tightened into fists, large and square. These hands were meant for a smith's hammer, not an axe. I love that. To me, this feels like the first time we actually see Perrin have that pacifist type of feel to him. Like, up until this point, there's been a lot of, there's been minor hints, but at this moment it's like, oh, he really doesn't want to do this. Like, this is where I guess you could say this is where they spell it out a little bit more clear instead of just kind of being like, me. And then of course our boy Huron is back out there doing his thing. And I was like, at that moment I was like, okay, this is awesome, because like it's going in right now. It's just boom, 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 boom. We're just going. It's back to back. Things are happening. I love it. And then Rand's trying to apologize again, and then all of a sudden, shadow killer. Like Perrin. It's just popping up in his head. Like, it's just boom, boom, boom. Like, yes, bro. I need that. I love it. I just love it. And then finally, Varen is like, there are some things that interest me greatly, Rand. One is how you vanished from Ingtar's camp without a trace. Another is how you arrived in Carrion a week before us. That clerk was very clear on that. You would have had to fly. I love it. Everybody's like, she's like, there's absolutely no way you would have been able to get here in the amount of time that you did, sir. There's no way. It's like, yo, there's absolutely no way that this could happen. Like, what's going on?
Grown up with. Shadow Killer. A man the wolves hold in awe. A man who can channel. I don't mind, Rand said, and told his tale simply. Perrin found himself gaping. Portal stones. Other worlds where the land seemed to shift. Huron following the trail of where the Dark Friends would be. And a beautiful woman in distress, just like one in a Gleeman's tale. Matt gave a soft, wondering whistle. And she brought you back? By one of these stones? Rand hesitated for a second. She must have, he said. So you see, that's how we got so far ahead of you. When Fane came, Loyal and I managed to steal back the Horn of Valir in the night, and we rode on to Kyrian because I didn't think we could make it past them once they were roused, and I knew Ingtar would keep coming south after them and reach Kyrian eventually. Shadow Killer. Rand looked at him, eyes narrowing, and Perrin realized he had spoken the name aloud. Apparently not loud enough for anyone else to hear, though. No one else glanced at him. He found himself wanting to tell Rand about the wolves. I know about you. It's only fair you know my secret, too.
Oh my god, I
Verin
love
was there.
this.
He could not say it in front of her. Interesting, the Aes Sedai said, a thoughtful expression on her face. I would very much like to meet this girl. If she can use a portal stone... Even that name is not very widely known. She gave herself a shake. Well, that is for another time. A tall girl should not be difficult to find in the Kyrianan houses. Ah, here is our meal.
Bruh. And look, this is something that I have always thought about. She has, and when I say she, I'm talking about Selene. She has the most normal name out of everyone that we have interacted with in this story. Like, we're meeting, like, well, of course, Matt as well. Matt and Selene are the most normal names ever. So they gotta be connected in some way, right? Like, that's how my brain goes. Like, in a world full of Ishmaels, Moiraines, Egwenes, Perrins, Rands, you know what I mean? Like, in a world full of those, like a Selene and a Matt, you know, you're like, Selene and Matt? Those are kind of super normal names. You know? I mean, my guy Arthur Hawkwing, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not really a normal name, you know? Not really a normal name. I don't know. What, like in a world full of abnormal names, their names are the ones that are actually... Wait. In a world filled with abnormal names, normal names are the abnormality. Like, you know, like they are the thing that stands out. They are the thing that should not be the thing that's the thing. And I'm like, what's happening here? What do we do about this? Why is her name Selene and no one else's name is simple like that? No one's name is like that. I mean, what? Elaine? Elaine is a name that is simple, but again, I don't know anyone named Elaine. Like, do any of you guys know a person named Elaine in real life? Like, I don't think that's a super common name, but I do think that all of us know a Selene. That's all I'm going to say. All of us know a Selene and or a Selena. That's what I think. In my head, I'm like, everybody knows a Selene or a Selena, but Elaine, you know, that's not a name that's there. So, again, I'm like, yo, why is Selene's name Selene? The only Elaine I know is from like an anime. I'm saying I don't know any Elaines. You know what I'm saying? But then we see them get their food, and basically what was explained to me is that Matt looks like a ravenous zombie eating human flesh. Like, and I was like, oh my god. Like, I was like, bro, what's happening? Like, oh my goodness, this is terrifying. Like, this is terrifying. Oh, and then we get a little name drop again of the travels of Jane Farstrider. Lord. Farstrider. Lord. Not Farts Rider. Excuse me. Oh, and then what happens? They play a game. Oh, a Stones board, which kind of sounds like some type of checkers or something. I don't know. But it says him and Ingtar basically were matched. And then Huron pulls up and he found them. He's like, Lord Ingtar, Lord Ran. I tracked them to their lair. I followed straight there, and there was Trolloc scent all around the place. It's the great manor Lord Barthanes just finished building. God damn it, Lord Barthanes, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing, Barthanes? There are dark friends among the high as well as the low. Loved that note right there coming from Varen. Varen was dropping mad skills on him. I like Varen a little bit more than Moiraine. I'm not going to lie to you. At this point, I don't really trust nobody. But Varen, I like Varen so much. Loved Varen's interaction with Eggy and Nine last week. Like, I loved the interaction that she had with them. Just kind of teaching them a little bit of things about magic because they both like kind of need. Well, at least Egwene needed something because she was like tripping, you know. And I like that interaction that she had with them. And then I think it was also last week or wait, maybe it was the week before that she had the interaction with. Wait, no, that was Varen's sister. Wait, who was that? No, that was Varen before she left them. Okay, my bad. Yeah. Like, Varen is just awesome. Like, I just love her. I love her. She's dope. She's so cool. She's dropping knowledge on everybody and helping out everyone too. She's hella chill. But I guess it's because, you know, Moiraine's not hella chill because she's been holding the weight of she's been holding the prophecy on her shoulders for the last, like, 35 years. It can change you to hold the weight of a prophecy on your shoulders. Trust me. And then, you know, they're talking about getting the dagger. The Galadriel and Riatan would move against Barthanes Damodred on the rumor of Barthanes being a dark friend. And then he says, if we tried to, here we go. I know little of Kyrian, but I've heard enough of Galdrian. He would feast us and thank us for the glory we had brought to Kyrian. He would stuff our pockets with gold and heap honors on our heads. And if we tried to leave with the horn, he'd cut off our honored heads without pausing to take a breath. I'm like, damn. Everyone is a menace out here. Like, everyone is a menace. What's going on? And then I love this. What about the dagger? Matt asked diffidently. And I've never heard of diffident. I'm not going to lie to you. There was a couple of words that popped up in this reading. There was like 2 words that I was like, I don't think I've heard that word before. Diffidently.
Diffident.
Modest or shy because of a lack of self-confidence. Well, I'll be damned, RJ. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anyone use that word in my lifetime. Diffident. That is a beautiful word that wraps up so much. Okay, really quick, like a really minuscule quick side tangent, yo. Like, how do you guys feel about having to look up words when you're reading if you don't know what the word is? It's like, I know I've seen some people complain about that. Like, don't try to be too, like flamboyant with your writing because you don't want the reader to be confused because you don't know the word. And it's like, bro, why is that my problem? Like, that's kind of how I feel. Like, why is that my problem? Like, who said I knew the word before I used it? I did research to write it. Why can't you do research to read it? Should everything be spelled out, or does it just kind of depend on the type of book that you're reading? Let me know in the chat. Side tangent over. Okay. What about the dagger? Matt asked diffidently. He wouldn't want that, would he? Ingtar glared at him, and he shifted uncomfortably. I know the horn is important, but I'm not going to be fighting in the last battle. That dagger. Matt got me rolling. Bro is trying to live. Like, live. Bro is trying to live. And that is hilarious. And then Baron's like, yo, I usually avoid doing stuff like this, but I'll just say I want to see Barthana's manor, and then maybe I can get an invite. The sniff, and then she's like, what's going on? She's like, maybe I can get an invitation to his manor once he finds out I'm a Aes Sedai. What's going on, Huron? The sniffer had been rocking anxiously on his heels from the moment she mentioned an invitation. I love that way of like going back and like, I love that. Like, I love going back. I don't know what it is. Like, it's like you're not, ever since she said invitation, he was rocking on his heels. So she noticed him rocking and asked him, what is it? I love that. I love that. I don't know what it is about it, but I love it. Lord Rand already has one for Lord Barthanes. Perrin stared at Rand, and he was not the only one. Everybody is like, what the? Like, what the is going on, bro? What's going on, Rand? How do you have, like, what's going on, dude? What's happening? Perrin shook his head. You are fitting that coat. We're all changing. We're all changing. I just love that. We're all changing. Like, I'm going to have to make a song about that. Just, we're all changing. I just love that. That's a beautiful, those are just three beautiful words. We're all changing. What a way, man. Like, I don't know if I'm being a little corny with it, but that's just so, there's just so much weight in those words, man. So much weight. The wheel of time weaves us all into the pattern as it wills. The wheel weaves as the will wills, baby. I love there's so many ways that people say that. Sometimes it provides what we need before we need it. And then Rand being straight up delusional again. How can I go? They will know I'm no lord. I am a shepherd, a farmer. Ingtar looked skeptical. I am, Ingtar. I told you I am. Ingtar shrugged. He still did not look convinced. Huron stared at him with flat disbelief. Burn me, Perrin thought. If I didn't know him, I wouldn't believe it either. Matt was watching Rand with his head tilted, frowning as if looking at something he had never seen before. He sees it too now. You can do it, Rand, Perrin said. You can. Like, oh yeah. Everyone believes in him. Like, seeing everyone believe in Rand, it just is so awesome. It's so awesome, bro. I love it because he doesn't believe in himself. And there's a look. Okay, I don't know who in the chat likes anime. I love anime. Gurren Lagann is one of my top 5 animes for sure, right? one of the first animes I ever watched. Like Gurren Lagann is the Gurren Lagann and Air Gear and Black Cat. Those are like the first three, but Gurren Lagann for sure is the first one I ever. Yeah, is the first one I watched, right? And in that, he says, one of the main characters says, if you don't believe in yourself, believe in the me that believes in you. Bruh, like, believe in the me that believes in you. That is what is going, that is Rand. That is Rand 100%. He doesn't believe in himself, but he believes in his friends, and his friends believe in him. So it's like the power of friendship for real, but it's written in such a way that it's not the power of friendship. Make sure you drop a like on the stream if you haven't already. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Where am I at? Oh, here we go. And then they're like, yo, there's 5 different dates that we can go, and one of them is tomorrow. Tomorrow? Ingtar explodes. Bro is ready to make it happen. He is ready to go in right now. Perhaps, and then Baron cut him off. Uno and your soldiers can watch the manor. If they try to take the horn anywhere, we can easily follow and perhaps retrieve it more easily than from inside Berthanis' walls. Perhaps so, Ingtar agreed grudgingly. I just do not like to wait. Now that the horn is almost in my hands, I will have it. I must! Huron stared at him. But Lord Ingtar, that isn't the way. What happens, happens, and what is meant to be will. Ingtar's glare cut him off, though he still muttered underneath his breath. It isn't the way. Talking of must. Hey, I low-key ate that just now. Bruh, like, I am, like, fire. Like, fire. We could be warning them to set a trap, which is also true. Dark friend or not, Barthanes will want to see Rand, which is such a fact. Oh, and then they talk about the interest that Rand took in one of the king's projects, and he says, I don't know, we came through a village where they were digging up a huge statue from the Age of Legends, they said. The king means to move it to Cairhien. All I did was ask what it was. And then, of course, they're like, yo, what the hell is this thing from the Age of Legends that he's messing with?
Angreal. She sounded as if it were really not very important, but Perrin suddenly had the feeling the two of them had entered a private conversation, saying things no one else can. Verin let the invitation. Rand said slowly, I haven't done anything at all since I arrived. Wait. Maybe he means the statue. We came through a village where they were digging up a huge statue from the Age of Legends, they said. The king means to move it to Cairhien, though I don't know how he can move something that big. But all I did was ask what it was. We passed it in the day and did not stop to ask questions. Verin let the invitation fall in her lap. Not a wise thing for Galdrian to do, perhaps, unearthing that. Not that there is any real danger, but it is never wise for those who don't know what they are doing to meddle with things from the Age of Legends. What is it? Rand asked. Sir Angrial. She sounded as if it were really not very important, but Perrin suddenly had the feeling the two of them had entered a private conversation, saying things no one else could hear. One of a pair, the two largest ever made that we know of, and an odd pair as well. One, still buried on Tremalking, can only be used by a woman. This one can only be used by a man. They were made during the War of the Powers to be a weapon. But if there is anything to be thankful for in the end of that age or the breaking of the world, it is that the end came before they could be used. Together they might well be powerful enough to break the world again, perhaps even worse than the first breaking. Perrin's hands tightened to knots. He avoided looking directly at Rand, but even from the corner of his eye he could see a whiteness around Rand's mouth. He thought Rand might be afraid, and he did not blame him a bit. Ingtar looked shaken, as well he might. That thing should be buried again, and as deeply as they can pile dirt and stone. What would have happened if Loghain had found it, or any wretched man who can channel, let alone one claiming he's the dragon reborn? Verin Sedai, you must warn Galdrian what he's doing. What? Oh, there is no need for that, I think. The two must be used in unison to handle enough of the one power to break the world. That was the way in the Age of Legends. A man and a woman working together were always 10 times as strong as they were apart. And what Aes Sedai today would aid a man in channeling? One by itself is powerful enough, but I can think of few women strong enough to survive the flow through the one on Tremalking. The Amelin, of course, Moraine and Elida, perhaps 1 or 2 others, and 3 still in training. As for Loghain, it would have taken all his strength simply to keep from being burned to a cinder, with nothing left for doing anything. No, Ingtar, I don't think you need worry. At least, not until the real Dragon Reborn proclaims himself, and then we will all have enough to worry about as it is. Let us worry now about what we shall do when we are inside Barthanas' manor. She was talking to Rand. Perrin knew it, and from the queasy look in Mat's eye, he did too. Even Loyal shifted nervously in his chair. Oh, Light, Rand. Perrin thought, Light, don't let her use you.
Yo.
Rand's hands were pressing the tabletop so hard that his knuckles were white. But his voice was steady. His eyes never left the Aes Sedai. First we have to take back the horn, and the dagger, and then it is done, Verin. Then it is done. Watching Verin smile, small and mysterious, Perrin felt a chill. He did not think Rand knew half what he thought he did. Not half.
Bruh. He doesn't know half. He doesn't know half of what he thought he did, yo. He's tripping. He's absolutely out of his mind, bro. He's absolutely out of it. Like, what are we doing, brother? What are we doing? He thinks he knows something. He knows nothing. He knows nothing. My favorite thing about this is that we get to see Perrin's POV. Now, I think Brandon Sanderson said this in one of his the classes that he does and puts online, I believe is where he said it. But he said, did he say that? Okay, it was either Brandon Sanderson or Murphy Napier. It was one of them. But one of them said that they would like to see a book taken from the POV of the quote-unquote side character who is like best friends with the main character and be able to see what goes on with that character. And I agree so much because that's one of the reasons why I love Perrin the most is because seeing your best friend be that guy is amazing. Like, that is amazing. Like, being able to see your best friend is the guy, it's like, oh my God. Like, he's the dude. Like, he did it. You know what I mean? Like, he did the damn thing. Like, and then finding out they're the one, now that's where it's really dope. So, I really appreciate Perrin so much because of that reason. Like, Perrin's point of view is magnificent. Because he sees his boy, and he's like, oh, you're that guy. even my wolf brothers know you, but you don't know nothing about my wolf brothers. Like, he's like, you're that guy, but I'm that guy too, and we don't know that we're both that guy. Like, we gotta have a that guy conversation. That's just awesome. It's just awesome, you know. I just love it, yo. I love it. I love it. Like, give me a book, give me something from the side character's point of view, watching the main character get stronger and stronger and stronger, right? Like, I think it was Murphy. I think it was Murphy because I believe she was talking about Harry Potter and how she wanted to see, like, Neville's point of view a little bit more, rather than Harry's, like, towards the end. Like, it was like she wished that Harry, like, she was like, yo, if Harry would have died and then Neville actually continued doing the damn thing that he was supposed to do because they both were the chosen one, that would have been awesome. And I think she just went on a tight tangent like I just did. Just saying. But yeah, I love me some Perrin's POV. Perrin and Varen. Like, Perrin's POV is amazing, and then hearing Varen just drop heat was also fantastic. She dropped, like, lore after lore, like, fact after fact, spreading all these things and giving hints to us, the reader. Like, the Amerlin Seat, Moiraine, Elida, perhaps one or two others, to make us think of who those one or two others might be. And then for me, I instantly thought of the Crimson Chin. And you know what I mean? She got to be one of them. And then she also hints at there being a couple of, there 3 that are still in trading, and it's like, oh, is that Elaine? Is that Elaine, Eggy, and 9? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, this is awesome. I love it. I love being able to piece stuff together, and I love not being able to piece stuff together and then finding it out later on, and you're like, oh, it was there all along. And there's so many things going on at one time. There are so many moving parts that it's easy to miss something because you're looking so hard for something else that you just don't even realize that there is something right there in front of your face. So I love me some of that. But let me know how you guys feel about chapter 32. Let's see. You have hella. We from New England have wicked. That's hilarious. In the South we have dag nab. What? That's wicked funny. Like, that's dag nabbing. That's dag nab funny. I like dag nab. My dad was a word sponge, so he was full of sayings from all over. We use that in my house too. Dag nabbit. I've heard dag nabbit for sure. Rand is wolf famous. That's so dope. Like, that's amazing to be wolf famous. Wolves have nicknames for Rand. Truly, everybody knows him. Man's is really, like, what? Like, how? How? Shadow Killer is an incredibly rad nickname. That's a fact. It is. Shadow Killer is amazing. That is a dope name. Illuminate. Yeah, sorry. I had to make a note real quick. I wonder what the full-length version of it means. Full-length version of Shadow Killer? I almost spoiled Shadow Killer last week because I thought it was obvious. So glad I held back. Yeah, I'm happy you held back too. Ain't nothing obvious in the Wheel of Time. You should know that now. I wonder if this guy named Quail knows how to spell potato. Just for a joke for the elder millennials, Gen Xers in the chat. What? I'm too young to remember it, but I've seen footage, ACM, that was a doozy. No idea what we're talking about. Geez, Rand paranoid much? I approve of black. It's easy to color coordinate. Facts. It's the silver that makes it hard to match. Lots of men can channel. Pretty arrogant to assume he's the singular one that is the real dragon. Lots of men can channel, so they're getting constant dreams of the Dark One. Like, the Dark One is constantly trying to seduce them and calling them the Dark One. Like, I mean, calling them the dragon. I don't know. I don't know if that's a symptom for everybody. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's happening to Lil Gain. You know what I mean? I don't know. A lot of people are having the dreams, but again, Rand from the very beginning, even when Perrin and everyone else was having dreams, he was still the only one that bro was like calling the dragon. Not like he had a chance to study the prophecies. Yo, prophecies aside. Prophecies aside. Me, two of my friends are having dreams about the same thing. But in my dream, the Dark One is calling me the dragon. At the same time as Moiraine is trying to find out who out of us is the dragon. And then they both start calling me the dragon at the same time. After I do all this other stuff too. I don't know. Perrin and Rand both being reluctant heroes, getting strong parallels there. Yeah, truth. I feel that. You're dead on about Perrin? Are you talking about Perrin's pacificity? To be fair, Matt's name is Matrim. Oh, you're right. You're right. So he also has a normal name. So it's just Celine. You think Varen has some type of idea who Celine is? I do. I think she does. She was like, I would love to meet this person. Like, definitely she wants to know what's going on there. There's a U.S. senator named Rand. What? That's wild. There's a lot of Elaines. Damn, do you know Elaines? Y'all know some Elaines? Let me get a one in the chat if you know an Elaine. Just one. If you know one Elaine. Let me get a one if you know one. In a world of Nynaeves and more gazes and Hurons and Ingtars, and then there's Tom. Isn't Tom's name different though too? And then Matt's name is Matrim like we just saw. And then Elaine does have a normal name. And then Celine. Yeah. Elaine is semi-normal. He kind of sucks. Oh, well, there's only one good Rand then. Tom's name is Tom Drill, though. Well, see, there you go. Tom Drill and Matrim. Those are not normal names. Senator Rand should change his name. He's terrible. Yeah, he's giving Rand a bad name. Jane Farts Writer is the silly parody book of Jane Farce Writer. Okay, good to know. Stones is based on the Japanese game Go. Go game. Oh. Cool. I like me some Go. Book Barthanes has much better hair than show Barthanes. Yo, is that's yeah, that's bro with the swoop do. Varen is just so delightful. Facts. I agree. Show Barthanes had that whack ass hairstyle. Yo, we were rolling when we saw that hairstyle. I don't know if you guys were here for that, but that was hilarious. We were all like, and I just continuously thought it was funnier and funnier because we got more and more like sides of his head. Like at first we saw it from the front and then it was like that ugly ass swoop. And then we saw it from the side and it was like the swoop with the slick back. And then we saw it from the back and it was like the ponytail swoop slick back combo. I was like, what the hell is going on with this man's hair? That was hilarious. Varen is definitely one of those cool characters so far. Oh yeah, she's definitely cool. A cool cat. Show Varen was combined with Vandene, who had the sister in the books. Oh, okay, that makes so much sense. Okay. I remember. I think you guys said that last week too, but now I really understand. I've never had urges to look up words. I would try to assume it based on context. Oh, I understand that though. I've always loved words though and their definitions. Kind of a nerd, but I've always loved words and their definitions. And if I don't know a word, even if I can find context, I want to know definitively like what it means. I don't like assuming. I was always told assuming makes an ass out of you and me. I tried to get the meaning from context. I remember Moiraine being described as diminutive, and I sort of figured out that meant petite. I understand. Tavern. One of my favorite one of my favorite uses of Tavern in the series. Yeah, Tavern. Hey. Like, bro, like I feel that. He's like, Tavern. My boy's like, come on, G. I don't like none of that, please. I love this insight. The power of friendship is no joke. Like, it's really not. It's really not. Do we think Barthanes was at the Dark Friend Social? I do think he was. I mean, we've met so many people, but yeah, I think he was. Absolutely. He recognized Rand. Facts, he did. Murphy Napier is awesome sauce. I agree. Murphy Napier rocks. Rand Paul, son of Ron Paul. Sean Paul. On the Depp v. Heard trial, Amber's lawyer was named Elaine. Oh, okay. And you know her personally? No, I'm just playing. But the first time I saw Murphy, actually, it was because it was like, her series, what was it called? Dear Authors, I think. And it was like kind of like what not to do or what readers don't like in books and stuff like that. Yeah. I think I've watched every single one that she's ever made. I do a lot of research on things a lot of times. But I'm happy you guys enjoyed chapter 32 or chapter 31, excuse me. I hope you I hope you guys had some fun with chapter 31 and now you know what to do. It's time to get into
Chapter 32. Dangerous Words.
Yo. Dangerous words. And this insignia or this chapter icon is none other than a harp. Okay? It's none other than a harp. And we pull up on Lord Bethanis' manor, crouched like a huge toad in the night, covering as much ground as a fortress, yo. So this is humongous. And we just kind of get it explained to us. It's not a fortress. It's tall, windows everywhere, lights, music. Man has a disco club as a home. Oh, 10 Shinarans along with Perrin was left behind. And then another 10 Shinarans, I believe, went with everybody else. So Rand was there because he received the invitation. Ingtar had come to lend the prestige of his title, while Loyal was there because Ogier were sought after in the upper reaches of Carrion nobility. Huron pretended to be Ingtar's body servant. His true purpose was to sniff out the Dark Friends in Trollocs if he could. The Horn of Valir should not be far from them. Matt, still grumbling about it, was pretending to be Rand's servant. Since he could feel the dagger when it was close, if Huron failed, perhaps he could find the dark winds. So I love that Matt is like, my boy, I am not your servant. Burn me. If Rand can be a lord, I can put on a fancy coat too. He is not a happy camper. A servant, Varen said without looking back at him, can go any place another man cannot. And many nobles will not even see him. And you and Heron have your tasks. Be quiet now, Matt, Ingtar put in, unless you want to give us away. I love it. And then, of course, they pull up, and man starts dropping. Rand proffered the invitation. I am Lord Rand of House Althor, he said in a rush. Wow. He said all in a rush to get it over with. And these are my guests. Varen Aes Sedai of the Brown Aja, Lord Ingtar of House Shanawa and Shinar, Loyal, son of Arndt, son of Arendt, son of Halan, from Steading Shangtai. Loyal had asked that his Steading be left out of it, but Varen insisted they needed every bit of formality they could offer. Like, bro, he's dropping names. And he's like, the dude was looking at them like, hot damn. And then we get a quick once-over of the building, or of all the guests and everything, and we see that the nobles stand in 2s and 3s and 4s, sometimes men and women together. Other women had their hair piled high in elaborate towers of curls, and their dark skirts were so wide that they would have had to turn sideways to pass through any doorway. And then the men had shaved heads of soldiers, and they all wore dark velvet hats over long hair shaped like bells, others flat. So yeah, everybody is just kind of looking the way that they're looking. Everyone's kind of looking fancy. And then, of course, they all get announced, and they drew, and then here we go. They drew every eye. Varen wore her brown fringed shawl, embroidered in grapevines. The announcement of an Aes Sedai sent a murmur through the lords and ladies, and made the juggler drop one of his hoops, though no one was watching him. Loyal received almost as many looks, even before Ashin spoke his name. Despite the silver embroidery on collar and sleeves, the otherwise unrelieved black of Rand's coat made him seem almost stark beside the carrion. And his and Ingtar's swords drew many glances. None of the lords appeared to be armed. Rand heard the words, Heron marked blade, more than once. Some of the glances he was receiving looked like frowns. He suspected they came from men he had insulted by burning their invitations. So they pulled up, and they pulled up strapped up. Like, whoa, pause. They pulled up with the heat on them. You know, they pulled up with their swords, and everybody else is just there to have a party. But they ready for that action. It seems like they are the only ones ready for that action. Everyone else is playing mind games, but they're ready to bring it out and, like, fronting in person. Oh, and then we see a slim, handsome man that approaches them with long, graying hair and multi-hued stripes cross the front of his deep gray coat from neck to the hem above his knees. Extremely tall, half a head shorter than Rand, and was standing and had a way of standing that made him seem even taller. Grace honors with your presence, Aes Sedai. Barthanes Damodred's voice was deep and sure, she said. I did not expect so distinguished a company. Be welcome. He let himself be drawn away by the handsome man. And then they talk a little bit. There's a murmur of conversation. The Shinar received a few worried looks. Some looked at the Aes Sedai with wide eyes. The latter came from men more often than women, and some women even spoke to her. And again, that's showing us that the Aes Sedai are, they're there. The Aes Sedai are there. The Aes Sedai when the Aes Sedai are there, they get a lot of respect from everyone around, no matter what. Like no matter what. Even if they don't like them, they gonna respect them because they scared. It's hard to be like, it's hard to be like, yo, I don't trust you or whatever. All right.
Rand said softly, and Loial nodded. Stedding Zofu. Rand realized that Mat and Hurin had already disappeared to the kitchens, where all the servants who had come with the guests would be gathering until sent for. He hoped they would not have trouble sneaking away. Loial bent down to speak for his ear alone. Rand, there is a way gate nearby. I can feel it. You mean this was an Ogier grove? Rand said softly, and Loial nodded. Stedding Zofu had not been found again when it was planted, or the Ogier who helped build Alkai Rhienalen would not have needed a grove to remind them of the steading. This was all forest when I came through Cairhien before, and belonged to the king. Barthanes probably took it away in some plot. Rand looked around the room nervously. Everyone was still talking, but more than a few were watching the Ogier and him. He could not see Ingtar. Verin stood at the centre of a knot of women. I wish we could stay together. Verin says not, Rand. She says it would make them all suspicious and angry, thinking we were holding ourselves aloof. We have to allay suspicion until Mat and Hurin find whatever they find. I heard what she said as well as you, Loial, but I still say, if Barthanes is a dark friend, then he must know why we're here. Going off by ourselves is just asking to be knocked on the head. Verin says he won't do anything until he finds out whether he can make use of us. Just do what she told us, Rand. Aes Sedai know what they are about. Loial walked into the crowd, gathering a circle of lords and ladies before he had gone 10 steps. Others started toward Rand now that he was alone, but he turned in the other direction and hurried away. Aes Sedai may know what they are about, but I wish I did. I don't like this. Light, but I wish I knew if she was telling the truth. Aes Sedai never lie, but the truth you hear may not be the truth you think it is.
Yeah, that's right, buddy. and again, all these other things that he has learned from everyone else, always coming back around to teach him a new lesson in a new time. I love it. Old teachings and new lessons. I don't know. I was trying to be prophetic. Let's see. Yo, so we find out that place used to be a steading. That's insane. That is insane. What does this mean? That's the first thing I started to think. Like, what does this mean? Then we see all types of people. And Rand is kind of just people watching and looking and listening to people. And then all of a sudden, Barthanes was right by his side. Like, I was even reading this. I was like, where the hell did Bruv come from? You seem restless. Like, what? They have a little conversation. It's dangerous to meddle with things from the age of legends if you don't know what you're doing. Parent, that's what Rand says to Barthanes, and he's like, "Are you saying you do not support Galadriel?" Like, he's like, "Bro, I told you I've never met the king. Like, no matter what Rand does, no matter what he does, no matter what he says, everybody is going to end up with their own interpretation, their own understanding of what someone is saying and or doing. And I love that. I just love it. Like, he can't get away from it no matter how hard he tries. And then again, Barthanes is like, I have heard the Andoran royal line has almost Aiel coloring in their hair and eyes. I'm not Aiel, Lord Barthanes, and I am not of the royal line either. As you say. You have given me much to think about. I believe we may find common ground when we talk again. Like, Bertha is looking into everything. Barthanes appeared to find deep meanings in the most trivial comments. Rand learned enough of Deus Daemar to know he had no idea at all how it was played. I love it, bro. I love it. Again, these chapters are segmented so perfectly because we start with the Deus Daemar chapter, then we get the little callback to the Deus Daemar there, and it's like, it's just a good flow. It's just a good flow. And then Elaine Chuliandrid pulls up being a straight up cougar trying to take Rand's virginity for no reason. Talking about, I hear you play the flute. Better back up off me, woman. And then she got the nerves to say, my husband spends his days sampling his own vineyards. Whoa, what are we doing, lady? Another woman sidled in beside the first. Do you think to keep him to yourself? Like, bro, what's happening? Belivaire O'Seelane is pulling up being all nasty too. And she talking about, are all Andermen so tall? Lady number 2, what is going on? Margin, hell no, what's going on? And guess what? She also was like, my husband is visiting our estates in the south. I'm like, bro, what are these ladies doing? Bring your flute to my manor and we will talk. Perhaps you can teach me how to play. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's insane. It's just insane. And then, who does Rand see as he's getting cornered? None other than our boy, Tom Maryland, the man, the myth, the legend. The guy has been there every step of the way. And what does Rand do immediately? He starts yapping. He starts running his mouth as he does all the time. I just don't get it with Rand. He can't shut up. And that's what I put in the margin. Shut up. Shut up, Rand. What are you doing, bro? Please stop talking. And then he's like, you know, you wanna, he's like, yo, you must be here to ask me to join you. That's what Tom says. You must be here to ask me to join you again. He's like, no, I wouldn't do that. You already told me that you don't want to join us, so I just need to get away from those women. He was like, oh. Cool. Like, bro, what happened? You were so... Hilarious. Actually hilarious how played he felt. Oh, Lord. Oh. And in the margin there, I put, bro wanted another invite so bad. And then Hurin pulls up and he's like, my lord, I was sent to tell you, your manservant had a fall and twisted his knee. I don't know how bad, my lord. And I'm like, Rand, you have all these eyes on you. Everyone is peeping you. Everyone is trying to pay attention to every move you make. And you beeline for the Gleeman, right? Like, what are we doing here? Like, why did you do that? That's just such a bad idea. You play very well at being a lord, Tom said softly. But remember this, Carrienin may play Deus Damar, but it was the White Tower that made the great game in the first place. Watch yourself, boy. Man. And that is how we end chapter 32. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I love it. Let me know how you guys are feeling about chapter 32. Let's jump into the chat a little bit before we jump into chapter 33. This is where the fun begins. Oh yeah, the fun is funnin' from here on out. Like, we are in there. We are in there right now. Oh, excuse me. Like, we are in there right now. Like, I could not believe it. Very Mary Poppins, a function for everyone, and everyone has a function. Yes, that's true. Yes, Marisu, that is very true. How observant of you. All the women at the palace are dressed like French noble women from the 1700s, and the men are wearing Tokugawa era samurai hairdos. It's just, yeah, there's so many things going on at one time, and I love it. I love it. What is that? What is that even called? I don't know. What was that? I don't know. But it's like, it just sucks again that we didn't get to see that. Like, I don't know. Did we get to see that? Did they have the Japanese Tokugawa? Whoa. Tokugawa, like, did they have the samurai Tokugawa hairdos in the show? When Rand goes to that ball? I can't remember. I can't recall. Oh. I don't know, quite a few women showed up ready for some action. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But boo. Bad joke. Barthanes is wondering if Rand is actually Gawain. Oh, that's freaking crazy. That's freaking crazy. What? She just wants to watch Rand play with his flute? Yeah, that's insane. What are we doing? You know, what are we doing? Rand kills Dinah in this conversation. So sad, yo. Like, why do we do these things we're doing, Rand? Like, you know who you are. You know who you are. Like, why? Why are we doing these things? That chapter was kind of long, but it wasn't long. But it was kind of long because there was a lot of, like, explaining. Oh, actually, that was the shortest chapter in our reading today. So that's why we kind of got through that one a little bit faster. Because it was a little bit more of explaining what's going on. You know, a little bit explanatory. A little bit more exposition, if you will. So, we can move right along and get straight into
Chapter 33. A Message from the Dark.
A Message from the Dark. You guys know I get super giddy over these chapter names. Super giddy. Like, the chapter names just be hitting. I love them. I love it. I love them. I love them. I love it. For real, for real. Like, it makes me so So happy. And then Sniffer's like, Matt's fine, Lord Rand. At least he sounds all right, and he grumbles like a hellman. I didn't mean to worry you, but I needed a reason for you to come below. I found the trail easy enough. The men who set fire to the inn all entered a walled garden behind the manor. Trollocs joined them, went into the garden with them. Sometime yesterday, I think, maybe even night before last. Lord Rand, they didn't come out again. They must still be in there. And it's like, yo, we're going through, we're just checking so much stuff out. It's like, yo, what's happening right now? Excuse me. Oh, and then Hurin figures out that everybody's just saying what they need to say to get by, but they all will also sell their person out for the right price. Lord Ingtar let himself be cornered by 6 or 7 ladies. So he was ready to do the damn thing as to where Rand was like trying to get out of there. Ingtar was like, yeah, you know, I'm Lord Ingtar. Yeah, that's right. How you doing? What's up with it? Nice to meet you. Yeah, come on. Come talk to a real lord, you feel me? You know what? I'm just here to handle business. Lord business. You know what I'm saying? And then Loyal's grin almost split his face, it says. And he's like, there you are, Rand. I was never so glad to get away from anyone as far from those of people upstairs. They kept asking me if Ogier were coming back, and if Galdrian had agreed to pay what he owed. It seems the reason all the Ogier stonemasons left is because Galdrian stopped paying them, except with promises. I kept telling them I didn't know anything about that. But half of them seemed to think I was lying, and the other half hinted that I was something. And the other half that I was hinting at something. Like, and I'm like, yo, the Carrions are menaces. You can't talk to them. You can't discuss anything with them unless they think about something going on. Like, they are going to read overly into every decision, every move that somebody makes. You're not going to be able to just kind of sit outside and mind your own business. You're going to have to find a well-lit area to kind of go get into the fetal position and read a book. Matt hasn't sensed his dagger at all. He's just kind of been going through it. And then Matt says, as long as you don't go mad. And Loyal says, Rand is not mad, Matt. And then Rand says, I'm not mad. Not yet. Sir? Can we start watching Rand? Like, this is where I feel like we need to start watching Rand. Because why did you just say that like that out loud to your peoples? Like, huge, major side eye. And then Rand tells Matt to find Ingtar and Varen. He's like, yo, you need to get them alone and make sure no one hears you and make sure you get them here. And Matt swept a low bow. At once, my lord. As my lord wishes. Shall I carry your banner, my lord? Now I have to limp. Next it'll be a broken neck. Like, and then he just trails off. And I'm like, margin. Matt just be going off. Like, bro just be going through it. Like, he's tweaking. He's tweaking. And then Loyal is always trying to talk Rand out of stuff. And then Rand's just like, he looks over the wall. And then he goes and tries to jump over it. And then Loyal grabs his foot and is like, bro, what are you doing? We need to get him out of here. And he's like, nah, come on, let's do it. Like, bro, we good. And then Loyal's like, you humans are always so rash and hasty. Elder Haman would speak to me severely, and my mother. Like, he's like, yo, we gotta be careful. You gonna get me in trouble. It's like, bro, you gonna get me in trouble. I'm a little kid still. I ain't even supposed to be out here like that. I'm supposed to be out the hut. They might be looking for me, man. You can't just be doing shit.
And found the void around him, and embraced it, never minding the tantalizing, sickening glow of Sidene just out of his sight. Inside your flesh, whirled up, sucked into the air. The space between the opening gates was a black so dark it seemed to make the night around it lighter. The pitch blackness oozed out between the still-moving gates. A line appeared, and the two halves, I'll prove it to you, and grass had been scraped partly away in two arcs, such as those gates would make in opening. Even close up, it looked like nothing more than a thick square of stone, taller than he was. The back was smooth and cool to the touch. He only brushed his hand against it quickly, but the front had been carved by an artist's hands. Vines, leaves, and flowers covered it, each so finely done that in the dim moonlight they seemed almost real. He felt the ground in front of it. The grass had been scraped partly away in two arcs, such as those gates would make in opening. "Is that a way gate?" Hurin asked uncertainly. "I've heard tell of them, of course, but—" He sniffed the air. "The trail goes right to it and stops, Lodrand. How are we going to follow them now? I've heard if you go through a way gate, you come out mad, if you come out at all." "It can be done, Hurin. I've done it, and Loyal and Matt and Perrin." Rand never took his eyes from the tangles of leaves on the stone. There was one unlike any other carved there, he knew. The trefoil leaf of fabled Avendasora, the tree of life. He put his hand on it. "I'll bet you can smell their trail along the ways. We can follow anywhere they can run." It would not hurt to prove to himself that he could make himself step through a waygate. "I'll prove it to you." He heard Hurin groan. The leaf was worked in the stone just as the others were, but it came away in his hand. Loyal groaned too. In an instant, the illusion of living plants seemed suddenly real. Stone leaves appeared to stir with a breeze. Flowers appeared to have colour even in the dark. Down the centre of the mass, a line appeared, and the two halves of the slab swung slowly toward Rand. He stepped back to let them open. He did not find himself looking at the other side of the walled square, but neither did he see the dull silver reflection he remembered. The space between the opening gates was a black so dark it seemed to make the night around it lighter. The pitch blackness oozed out between the still-moving gates. Rand leaped back with a shout, dropping the Avendasora leaf in his haste, and Loyal cried out, "Machin Shin! The Black Wind!" The sound of wind filled their ears. The grass stirred in ripples toward the walls, and dirt swirled up, sucked into the air. And in the wind 1,000 insane voices seemed to cry, 10,000, overlapping, drowning each other. Rand could make out some of them, though he tried not to. "Blood so sweet to drink the blood that drips, trips, drops so red. Pretty eyes, fine eyes. I have no eyes. Pluck the eyes from out of your head. Grind your bones, split your bones inside your flesh. Suck your marrow while you scream, scream, scream. Singing screams. Sing your screams." And worst of all, a whispering thread through all the rest.
Oh my God.
"Althor, Althor, Althor." Rand found the void around him, and embraced it, never minding the tantalizing, sickening glow of Sidene just out of his sight. Greatest of all the dangers along the ways was the black wind that took the souls of those it killed and drove mad those it let live. But Machin Shin was a part of the ways. It could not leave them. Only it was flowing into the night, and the black wind called his name. The waygate was not yet fully open. If they could only put the Avendosaur leaf back. He saw Loyal scrambling on his hands and knees, fumbling and searching the grass in the darkness. Sidene filled him. He felt as if his bones were vibrating, felt the red-hot, ice-cold flow of the One Power, felt truly alive as he never was without it, felt the oil-slick taint. No! And silently he screamed back at himself from beyond the emptiness. It's coming for you! It'll kill all of us! He hurled it all at the black bulge, standing out a full span from the waygate now. He did not know what it was that he hurled, or how, but in the heart of that darkness bloomed a coruscating fountain of light. The black wind shrieked 10,000 wordless howls of agony. Slowly, giving way inch by reluctant inch, the bulge lessened. Slowly, the oozing reversed, back into the still open waygate.
The bulge was
The power raced through Rand in a torrent. He could feel the link between himself and Sidene, like a river in flood, between himself and the pure fire blazing in the heart of the black wind, a raging cataract. The heat inside him went to white heat, and beyond to a shimmer that would have melted stone and vaporized steel and made the air burst into flame. The cold grew till the breath in his lungs should have frozen solid and hard as metal. He could feel it overwhelming him, feel life eroding like a soft clay riverbank, feel what was him wearing away. Can't stop. If it gets out, have to kill it. I can not stop. Desperately he clung to fragments of himself. The One Power roared through him. He rode it like a chip of wood in rapids. The void began to melt and flow. The emptiness steamed with freezing cold. The motion of the waygate halted and reversed. Rand stared, sure, in the dim thoughts floating outside the void, that he was only seeing what he wanted to see. The gates drifted closer together, pushing back Machin Shin as if the black wind had solid substance. The inferno still roared in its breast. With a vague, distant wondering, Rand saw Loyal, still on hands and knees, backing away from the closing gates. The gap narrowed, vanished. The leaves and vines merged into a solid wall and were stone. Rand felt the link between him and the fire snap. The flow of power through him cease. A moment more, and it would have swept him away completely. Shaking, he dropped to his knees. It was still there inside. Sidene. No longer flowing, but there, in a pool. He was a pool of the One Power. He trembled with it. He could smell the grass, the dirt beneath, the stone of the walls. Even in the darkness, he could see each blade of grass, separate and whole, all of them at once. He could feel each minute stirring of the air on his face. His tongue curdled with the taste of the taint. His stomach knotted and spasmed. Frantically, he clawed his way out of the void. Still on his knees, not moving, he fought free. And then, all that was left was the fading foulness on his tongue, and the cramping in his stomach, and the memory. So alive. You saved us, Builder.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Like, woo, that is just so powerful. Like, his tongue curdled with the taste of the taint is insane, though. Like, that is insane work. That's crazy work through and through. But outside of that, this was like, yo, like, man's definitely got away with words. The swelling budge bursting was also wild, but still, it's like, man, way to paint visuals. Way to paint a visual and really let it be known what the hell is going on. Like, this is what's happening. We are rocking. We are rolling. We are doing the damn thing. Like, woo, woo, woo. Yeah, man. It's just lovely. Like, nah, Taste the Taint is crazy. Like, man, I just could not believe, I could not believe it. And then he's like, oh, well, Loyal, you saved us. Like, how? Did nobody see what just happened? Lord Ren, could we leave now? Poor Kieran. Like, Kieran is just trying to do his job, bro, but this guy, Rand, just keeps putting him into insane situations all of the time. Like, bruh, give mans a break, please. Yeah, man. And then Rand wonders if somehow something new was gonna happen. Because, bro, I mean, look at what just happened to him. Like, bro is going through it. Everybody's like, yo, man, you are so rash. Like, can we just chill out? Then Rand goes back with everybody else. Everyone's kind of talking about where they're going to go. They talk about Loyal, son of Arendt, son of Halan. We've been hearing his name a couple of times, like hearing his like lineage be mentioned multiple times. And then Barthanes stops him. And then he's like, you wade even deeper in the game than I thought. Like, bro, what? No, I don't. I don't wade deeper in the game than you thought. I don't. I promise. And after he hears that he has a message, he's like, I have a message from who? Lady Celine? Bruh, she is always on his mind, like, all of the time. Like, she is always in his brain. Gonna make him go insane. What is the message? From Pat and Fane. The message is from Fane. And he's like, yo, I'll wait for you on Tom and Head. Like, what? If you want what you're looking for, that's where you need to go. Pat and Fane is a menace. Like, he has always been a menace, yo, for real. Like, it's crazy. And then he, of course, shocks Barthanes by asking him a question flat out, just boom. And I love how we, like, just start talking about Fane. We just start talking about everything that's going on. The ground under the manor used to be an Ogier Grove, we find out. We find out about they tell them about the Black Wind. Like, everything is going on. And then Baron's like, you must be mistaken. Machin Shin could not be used as a guard. No one can contain the Black Wind to do anything. It's a creature of the Dark One, Matt said numbly. They're dark friends. Maybe they know how to ask it for help or make it help. No one knows exactly what Machin Shin is, Varen said, unless, perhaps, it is the essence of madness and cruelty. It cannot be reasoned with, Matt, or bargained with, or talked to. It cannot even be forced.
not by any Aes Sedai living today, and perhaps not by any who ever lived. Do you really think Patton Fane could do what 10 Aes Sedai could not? And it's like, bruh, if you don't think that, then where the hell is he going? Like, where is he going? And then Loyal tells Rand that it'll take him months to go to get to Toman Head, and I didn't know it was that far. But I'm like, oh yeah, they use the Waygate, so that's why it's so far. And then Rand's like, bro, I'm in this. And this is the part that I love. Rand is like really finally making those solid grounds, right? He is like, he's like, Loyal, I'm about to ride as hard as I can. And if I ride Red to death, I'm buying another horse or stealing another if I have to. Are you sure you want to come? And he's like, I'll stay with you this long, Rand. Why would I stop now? Like, bro, we're rocking. I love it, bro. I love it, bro. I love it. Loyal is my guy. Let's see. Oh, and then he says, I would like you even if you weren't Taverin. He's hilarious, yo. And then Ingtar is like going crazy. He's like, not even a clever trick. Somehow I'll get Barthanes alone, and I will learn the truth. I mean to have the Horn of Valir, not chase Jacko the Wisps. He's going off and going through it. Fane could have blown the horn 100 times since leaving Faldera. Varen told him. Perrin's head came up sharply and Matt shifted in his chair because everybody knows what's going on, yo. What we must worry about is that he might find someone who does know how to open it. We must follow him along the ways. And then right here, I love this part. It's like, how can we use it with sneak onto Barthanes' ground? And she says there are other waygates. Steading Sofu lies not far from the city, south and east. It is a young Steading rediscovered only perhaps 600 years ago. That's young, but the Ogier elders were still growing the ways then. Steading Sofu will have a waygate. It is there, and we will ride at first light. Margin. Yes! Let's go. I can't wait to see more Ogier. Ingtar still did not seem convinced the man was going through it. Like, he didn't even want to do nothing. Yeah, and then we basically end. End on, what do you want? And what of you, Randolph Thor? Do you feel well? Do you fight it still, or have you yet surrendered to the wheel? Woo-hoo! I ride with you to find the horn. Like, bro, I love it. I just love it. I just love it, yo. That was just a fantastic one right there. I really appreciate that. You should 100% be watching Rand all times, for real. Uh-oh. Taste the Taint is insane. I'm sorry, I gotta get ready for bed. Yo, I feel it. It's all good. No worries. I only got one more chapter and then I'm out of here myself. You sleep well and wake, Marisu. I appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody that may be coming back on the replay. I appreciate y'all too, for real. Let's get it. Yeah, so yo, that was chapter 33. I had a really good time with chapter 33. Again, we're getting it's like it was going down. I love being able to see Rand really utilizing his power, really wielding it, really like going in. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy and like proud. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, let's go, Rand. Let's freaking go, man. Like, I'm hype. Taste the Taint was wild. All of that, all the words he was saying was wild, but it definitely painted a picture. And it wasn't a wild picture. It was just like the words was just like, whoa, damn. But it's like, I got it though. You know what I mean? I see it. I see like the energy beams or not the beams, but I see like the energy bursting and like how the I see it all. I see it happening in my brain because it is really descriptive. Like, descriptive in the most fantastic way. And it got me hype. Got me hype for sure. Okay. Lord. Lord. I don't know what just happened. That was intense. But like I said, ladies and gents, we only got one more chapter to get into. I'm excited to get into it. I appreciate y'all if you're watching on the replay or if you are still here with me now. I appreciate all of the love. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay. Now, we are about to get into the final chapter here. But before we do, you should already know what to do.
Hi, my name is Dominique Pruitt, and I started Don's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn LLC in the summer of 2021 to introduce delicious and unique flavored popcorn not found anywhere else in the world. Why, you ask? Because I make it in my home with love, just for you. We offer over 10 flavors and are continuously creating new flavors that can be customized to any color or taste for your next event, party, or fundraiser. So go find yourself to our website and find a bombastic flavor of popcorn at donsbombgourmetpopcorn.com, or you can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Don's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn.
That is right. Make sure you get you some Dom's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn, where the popcorn is always bomb and gourmet. And of course, it's made by Dom. All right. And now it's time to get into the new POV. And that POV is from none other than Tom. So let's get into
Chapter 34. The Wheel Weaves.
Oh, this chapter is utterly heartbreaking. It is just utterly heartbreaking. I could not believe it. I could not believe it, you guys. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I was like, bruh, it was just crushing. It was just crushing. Serpent, and it's a serpent and the wheel, yo. That's what this icon is of. And again, it's just so. I was so happy starting this chapter off. I was like, let's go. Like, we're seeing Tom's point of view. Like, let's get it. And then it's like, you know, we hear that he was just playing music, The Great Hunt of the Horn, Mara and the Three Foolish Kings, how Sussa tamed Jane Farstrider, hearing that name again, and stories of Anla the Wise Counselor. I feel like we've heard Jane Farstrider's name more than all the other names right there that we were just hearing about. And it was like they were just kind of being super demanding and all that stuff. And then they cornered him and started questioning him about Rand. Again, because he was talking to Rand. Rand was talking to him. He just beat lines to him at all times and just runs his mouth and runs his mouth and runs his mouth. And then everybody wants to know what he's talking about. Man, I'm crushed going into this chapter. This chapter was just utterly crushing. So, they had questions about Rand and not even bothering to subtle. They weren't even subtle with him. They were just asking him flat out questions like, why is he there? All these things. They were just questioning him. And then he's like, yo, Rand was gone with his friends and the Aes Sedai. It left a feeling of something not done. The boy's on his own now. Burn me. I'm out of it. And then I wrote in the margin, he's such a dad, because it's just, you feel me? He cares about Rand so much. Like, he wants to just talk to him about all of the things that are going on, but he's trying so hard to live his life. And then, you know, he goes into his room, and it's just all hell breaks loose. It's just all hell breaks loose. Like, what are we gonna do? I couldn't believe it.
He smiled when he saw her lying on the bed with her face turned to the wall, still in her dress.
Oh
Fell asleep
God.
waiting for me. Fool girl. But it was a kindly thought. He was not sure there was anything she would do that he would not forgive or excuse. Deciding on the spur of the moment that tonight was the night he'd let her perform for the first time, he lowered his harp case to the floor and put a hand on her shoulder to wake her and tell her. She rolled limply onto her back, staring up at him, glazed eyes open wide above the gash across her throat. The side of the bed that had been hidden by her body was dark and sodden.
OMG.
Tom's stomach heaved. If his throat
What's
had not been so
going on?
tight he could not breathe,
I couldn't
he would
believe
have
it.
vomited or screamed, or both. He had only the creaking of wardrobe doors for warning. He spun, knives coming out of his sleeves and leaving his hands in the same motion. The first blade took the throat of a fat, balding man with a dagger in his hand. The man stumbled back, blood bubbling around his clutching fingers as he tried to cry out. Spinning on his bad leg, threw Tom's other blade off, though. The knife stuck in the right shoulder of a heavily muscled man with scars on his face who was climbing out of the other wardrobe. The big man's knife dropped from a hand that suddenly would not do what he wanted, and he lumbered for the door. Before he could take a second step, Tom produced another knife and slashed him across the back of his leg. The big man yelled and stumbled, and Tom seized a handful of greasy hair, slamming his face against the wall beside the door. The man screamed again as the knife hilt sticking out of his shoulder hit the door. Tom thrust the blade in his hand to within an inch of the man's dark eye. The scars on the big man's face gave him a hard look, but he stared at the point without blinking and did not move a muscle. The fat man, lying half in the wardrobe, kicked a last kick and was still. "Before I kill you," Tom said, "tell me, why?"
Bro,
His voice was
why
quiet,
they do him
numb.
like that? Like, so
He felt numb
heartbreaking.
inside. "A great game," the man said quickly. His accent was of the streets, and his clothes as well, but they were a shade too fine, too unworn. He had more coin to spend than any four-gater should. "Nothing against you personal, you see. It is just the game. The game. I'm not mixed up in Dias Tamar. Who would want to kill me for the great game?" The man hesitated. Tom moved his blade closer. If the fellow blinked, his eyelashes would brush the point. "Who?" "Barthanes," came the hoarse answer. "Lord Barthanes. We would not have killed you. Barthanes wants information. We just wanted to find out what you know. There can be gold in it for you. A nice fat golden crown for what you know. Maybe two." "Liar. I was in Barthanes' manor last night, as close to him as I am to you. If he wanted anything of me, I'd never have left alive. I tell you, we have been looking for you or anyone who knows about this Andoran lord for days. I never heard your name until last night, downstairs. Lord Barthanes is generous. It could be 5 crowns. The man tried to pull his head away from the knife in Tom's hand, and Tom pushed him harder against the wall. "What Andoran lord?" But he knew. The light help him, he knew.
Damn.
"Rand of House Thor, tall, young, A blade master, or at least he wears the sword. I know he came to see you. Him and an Ogier, and you talked. Tell me what you know. I might even throw in a crown or two myself. You fool. Tom breathed. Dana died for this. Oh, light, she's dead. He felt as if he wanted to cry. The boy's a shepherd. A shepherd in a fancy coat, with eyes to die around him like bees around honey roses. Just a shepherd. He tightened his grip in the man's hair. Wait! You can make more than any 5 crowns, or even 10. 100 more like. Every house wants to know about this Randall Thor. 2 or 3 have approached me. With what you know, and my knowing who wants to know it, we could both fill our pockets. And there's been a woman, a lady, I've seen more than once while asking after him. If we can find out who she is, why, we could sell that too. You've made one real mistake in it all, Tom said. Mistake? The man's far hand was beginning to slide down toward his belt. No doubt he had another dagger there. Tom ignored it. You should never have touched the girl. The man's hand darted for his belt. Then he gave one convulsive start as Tom's knife went home. Tom let him fall over away from the door and stood a moment before bending tiredly to tug his blades free. The door banged open and he whirled with a snarl on his face.
Bruh. Oh, I can't believe it, Joe. They done killed. Oh my God. I just couldn't believe it. I was literally baffled. I was just in shock. I'm still in shock because I just was like, what? What? It was just like, yo, what? Oh my God, wait. I don't know how many times he's going to be able to get me like this. How many times Robert Jordan is going to be able to get me with this writing of things just going so smoothly, and then all of a sudden, everything is not going smoothly at all anymore. Things are going terribly wrong from here on out. It's like, how did we move from one moment to the next moment so quickly, so swiftly, and so terrifyingly as well? It's just a crazy combination of things going on at once. And I'm hyped about it. And then I was just like, even in the margin, I was like, what like, what the f is happening? Like, what's happening right now? What are we doing? And then Zira comes in and tells him, if you want to honor her memory, you gotta stay alive. And then he's out of there. And for and this chapter is called, like, bruh, they did us so dirty. They did us dirty. I'm sorry. They just did us dirty. I can't even get a thought together because it's like, why do we were just chilling. Tom didn't deserve this. Rand, you stupid boy. Like, what are you doing, man? Why did you have to go up to him every time you saw him? Like, did you not read the room? Did you not hear anything anyone had said? Rand is going to be sick when we find out. He's going to be sick. I'm only an old man. I'm only an old gleeman, he said from the door, and Rand Althor is only a shepherd. But we both do what we must. What could I possibly be dangerous to? Like, he's just as delusional as Rand is. That's the thing that was hilarious. I'm like, what? Obviously, all of these things are not true. Rand is not just a shepherd because your girl just got murdered because of him. And obviously you are not just a normal gleeman because you just murdered the people that murdered your girlfriend. These are not normal things. You are not a normal person. These are completely abnormal things that are happening. Like, What are we talking about? You just went on a revenge slaughter and took out like, what was it, like 3 dudes? You took out 2 of them and then basically scared the last one into telling you the truth like you were Batman, and then you murdered him as well and then left. And they're like, man, I'm just a gleeman. He's just a shepherd. Like, bro, I think this was the moment where you realized that that is actually not what's going on. Like, you are more than a gleeman, and he is more than a shepherd. Why are we playing what are we doing? What are we doing? And then all of a sudden, we switch POVs, and I love it, because now we're with Pat and Fane. Like, I can't say it enough how much I love these segmented chapters of 5 chapters each. Like, 5 chapters each just works so well. 5 chapters each works just swimmingly. I love it. I just love it. I love it so much. So, like, when we were in this chapter and going from, you know, Tom and then just that, all of that happening, and then boom, we're with Pat and Fane now, and he's basically selling his soul to yet another devil, like, quote unquote. But at the same time, he's not, because he's like, haha, like, yo, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. Like, man. And then we go in, while we're with Pat and Fane, we see someone just called. The woman had not wanted to give up her horse, no more than any of the dark friends who had followed him and wanted to be left alone in the hills with the Trollocs. The woman's companions had been shaken by the journey along the ways. To a waygate outside a long abandoned steading on Tomenhead, and watching the Trollocs prepare their dinner and made the surviving dark friends biddable. So obviously that just lets us know off rip that Pat and Fane is not lying. You know what I mean? Like, Pat and Fane is not lying, man. Like, he told him to meet him there, and that's what he does. Like, we're just going from one thing to another so quickly, and it's like Pat and Fane was just on a full out murder spree, and then like Tom was literally just singing to a whole bunch of rich pricks that didn't even like him, like his singing, because they were just looking at him like he was crazy. And then he's about to tell her, like, bro, it's so sad. It's so sad. It's just so much going on, bro. And then we have Pat and Fane immediately selling out everything. And he's there with I have like a little gnat that's like trying to land in my nostrils. He had, and then we learned that he knows about the Shan Chan. We don't know about the Shan Chan that much in the book yet, but it's obvious he knows more about them than we do, right? Right off the rip, he knows so much about them. Like, it says that he learned something of these people, these Shan in his day and a night on Tomenhead. Like, what? Like, he knows about all of these things. They always answered questions properly. If they actually believed they would eventually do something with what they knew. Like, bro, like they gathered information on the on invaders. Like, they're doing all of these things all the time. He even says that the children talked the quickest of all, but they seldom said much that was worthwhile. Like, we are getting so much world building for the Shan Chan in such a little time because Pat and Fane knows about them. Like, and then he goes and he basically goes to a large house that has more than a dozen soldiers standing outside of it. Cotton my house. Woo. Okay, so he goes to a house that has more than a dozen soldiers standing guard outside, right? Um, and then we see one officer who wore armor that was unrelieved black, and their helmets made him think of a locust head. We've seen this locust-headed soldier before on the boats with the dude in the last chapter that we were with. I can't think of his name right now, but he was the one that was on the ship trying to get out of there. They made him dock. We saw that soldier. We saw one of the soldiers that looked like that, right? And then we also see two leathery skinned beasts with 3 eyes and horny beaks instead of mouths flanked the door and squatting like crouching frogs. The soldier standing by each of the creatures had 3 eyes painted on the breast of his armor. Fane eyed the blue bordered banner flapping above the roof. The spread-winged hawk clutching the lightning bolt and chortled inside itself. Lord, there was a lot of words right there. So, what I noticed in this, like while Fane was talking to this person, is that Fane is more like Ishi than anything like in this. Like, we really haven't seen Ishmael like that. Like in the form of actually hearing his name and knowing that the character that we're talking about is Ishmael. But I feel like Patton Fane has been doing hella Ishi shit. Like he has been doing a whole bunch of things that are just very Ishi-esque. Like I'm like, on one hand, it's like yeah, he's very Patton Fane from the show, but on the other hand, he's very like Ishmael for some reason. I don't know. It just feels really weird to see him be in this position, be in these different positions. And it's like whenever he's talking and whenever he's with like he's controlling Trollocs. Like, I don't know. There's just so much stuff going on. And I have so many questions about him. Like, how is this going on? And then he, of course, because he's bullshitting, right? I will obey, wait, and will serve. Like, he's just full of it. Like, no, you won't. And I love the fact that the offer is just staring at him. Like, well, this is a gift fit for the Empress herself. You will come with me. And then, of course, we get a little bit of lore here, too. As they went through the door, the officer frowned at him. And for a moment, Fane wondered why. Of course, the beasts, whatever they were certainly no worse than Trollocs. Nothing at all beside a Madral. And he had not given them a second look. It was too late to pretend to be afraid now, but the Shan-Chan said nothing. Only led him deeper into the house. Like, bro's looking at it like, oh, okay. Yo, I got something like that. I got more of the humanoid version of that. You got the frogoid. Amphibioid. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they're like, yo, these are fabulous gifts. And then Fane is like, yo, this chest is old. As old as the age of legends, and within it lies a treasure such as whoa. Okay, that was insane. This chest is old as the high legends, and within it lies a treasure such few eyes have ever seen. And he's like, yo, I've seen chests like this. Chests from the age of legends, the High Lord says, though none so fine. They are meant to be opened only by those who know the pattern. But I He pressed among the ornate whorls and bosses. There was a sharp click, and he lifted back the lid. A flicker of what might have been disappointment passed across his face. Like, what the what? Just that quick. Like, whoa. Like, just that quick. And then Fane bites the inside of his lips so hard that he starts bleeding. Like, what? Why are we doing this? But it's because he feels the dagger. You know what I mean? At first I'm like, what? Why are we doing this? But it's because he feels the dagger. So, these are treasure from the Age of Legends? Like, he's like, are you sure? And then Brev's like, yo, he feels the dagger, like, pulsating from him. And then he tells him about the Horn of Valir. Oh, and then a young woman, hair so pale it was almost white, came behind them. Her garment was white silk and so thin that Fane could see her body. But he had eyes only for the dagger. I love it. He had eyes only for the dagger. The horn was a means to an end, but the dagger was a part of him. Like, what? Whoa. And guess what? We see this POV from him, but we don't get to see it the same way from Matt. But this is also how Matt feels when he is around it. And it's just dope to kind of get that parallel at the same time. But see that like Patton Fane is functioning marginally. Within a very small margin. And then Fane eyes the dagger longingly. Because my boy is like, my precious. Like, he wants it.
Finally, though, the High Lord spoke. You seem to know what none, neither the high nor the low, has spoken since sighting this land. The people here speak it as one rumor among 10. But you know, I can see it in your eyes, hear it in your voice. I could almost think you were sent to entangle me in a trap. But who, possessing the Horn of Valir, would use it so? None of those of the blood who came with the Helene could have had the Hawkwing's blood to destroy the White Tower and take back what was the High King's. And when the Hawkwing's blood restored all of this land, if you wish, all of the world, you may break the White Tower and grind the Aes Sedai to dust. For even their powers cannot stop heroes come back from the dead. I am to sound it. Turak's tone was flat. And break the White Tower. Again, why? You claim to obey, await, and serve, but this is a land of oath-breakers. Why do you give your land to me? I am to sound it. Turak's tone was flat. And break the White Tower. Again, why? You claim to obey, await, and serve, but this is a land of oath-breakers. Why do you give your land to me? Do you have some private quarrel with these women? Fane tried to make his voice convincing. Patient, like a worm boring from within. High Lord, my family has passed down a tradition, generation upon generation. We served the High King, Artul Payandrag Tanreel, and when he was murdered by the witches of Tarvalon, we did not abandon our oaths. When others walled and tore apart what Arthur Hawkwing had made, we held to our swearing and suffered for it, but held to it still. This is our tradition, High Lord, handed father to son and mother to daughter, down all the years since the High King was murdered. That we await the return of the armies Arthur Hawkwing sent across the Arif Ocean, that we await the return of Arthur Hawkwing's blood to destroy the White Tower and take back what was the High King's. And when the Hawkwing's blood returns, we will serve and advise as we did for the High King. High Lord, except for its border, the banner that flies over this roof is the banner of Luther, the son Artor Pain-Drag-Tanril sent with his armies across the ocean. Fane dropped to his knees, giving a good imitation of being overwhelmed. High Lord, I wish only to serve and advise the blood of the High King. Turak was silent so long that Fane began to wonder if he needed further convincing. He was ready with more, as much as was required. Finally, though, the High Lord spoke. You seem to know what none, neither the high nor the low, has spoken since sighting this land. The people here speak it as one rumor among 10. But you know, I can see it in your eyes, hear it in your voice. I could almost think you were sent to entangle me in a trap. But who, possessing the Horn of Valir, would use it so? None of those of the blood who came with the Helene could have had the horn, for the legend says it was hidden in this land. And surely any lord of this land would use it against me rather than put it in my
Pike
hands.
is doing the damn thing.
How did
Like,
you
she
come
is
to
doing
possess the Horn of
damn
Valir?
thing.
Do you claim to be a hero, as in the legend? Have you done valorous deeds? I am no hero, High Lord. Fane ventured a self-deprecating smile, but Turak's face did not alter, and he let it go. The horn was found by an ancestor of mine during the turmoil after the High King's death. He knew how to open the chest, but that secret died with him in the War of the 100 Years that rent Arthur Hawkwing's empire, so that all we who followed him knew was that the horn lay within, and we must keep it safe until the High King's blood returned.
Lord.
Almost could I believe you. Believe, High Lord. Once you sound the horn, do not ruin what convincing you have managed to do. I shall not sound the Horn of Valir. When I return to Shonchan, I shall present it to the Empress as the chiefest of my trophies. Perhaps the Empress will sound it herself. But, my lord, Fane protested, you must! He found himself lying on his side, his head ringing. Only when his eyes cleared did he see the man with the pale braid rubbing his knuckles and realize what had happened. Some words, the fellow said softly, are never used to the High Lord.
And then what did Fane do?
Fane decided how the man was going to die.
Like, bruh, everyone was going crazy. I love seeing this, right? And then in the show, though, what do we see? We see Ishi with the Shan-Chan acting like he's like bowing to them, but he's not, because he's way more powerful. So he doesn't really ever bow. But you know, they're like working together. And then here you kind of get that same type of vibe. So it's just dope. And then bro says, you almost seem eager. I will tell you why I will not sound the Horn of Valir or even keep it. And perhaps that will cure your eagerness. Like, bruh, he's like, bro, you're tripping a little bit too hard.
Turak looked from Fane to the horn as Placid's new plans. Access to a ruler with the might of the Shonchan beneath her and the Horn of Valir in her hands. Much better than making this Turak a great king.
Exactly. So he's like, bruh, it might as well happen. Bro's like, yo, I'm gonna give this to her when I get back. I'm giving this to her. Yeah, and he says the Empress's listeners may be anywhere. So I was like, bro, it's not even worth it to even try to do any of the things you're talking about. And then he says, few dark friends remain in Shan-Chan. Those who survive the seekers for truth meet the axe of the headsman. It might be amusing to meet a dark friend. High Lord, they are dangerous. They have Trollocs with them. They are led by one who calls himself Rand Althor. Vile in the shadow beyond belief. Trollocs? He's like, Trollocs? Oh, they have Trollocs.
And perhaps that will cure your eagerness. I do not wish a gift of mine to offend the Empress by his actions. If your eagerness cannot be cured, myself and the throne would think I meant to be first hereafter. Fane stopped himself short of suggesting how possible that would be with the aid of the horn. Something in the High Lord's voice suggested, as hard as Fane found it to believe, that he actually meant his wish for her to live forever. Known to listeners can wake to find themselves already handed over to the seekers for truth, and that bag hung over the side of the Tower of the Ravens and left there until it rots away. This court of Shondar sounded a place where his plans and skills would find fertile soil. With downcast head beside the High Lord, offering a single steaming cup on a lacquered tray, balanced on long-nailed fingertips. Few dark friends remain in Shanchan. Those who survive the seekers for truth meet the axe of the headsman. It might be amusing to meet a dark friend. High Lord, they are dangerous. They have Trollocs with them. They are led by one who calls himself Rand Althor, a young man, but vile in the shadow beyond belief, with a lying, devious tongue. In many places he has claimed to be many things, but always the Trollocs come when he is there, High Lord. Always the Trollocs come and kill. Trollocs, Turak mused. There were no Trollocs in Shanchan, but the armies of the night had other allies, other things. I have often wondered if a Grom could kill a Trolloc. I will have watch kept for your Trollocs and your dark friends if they are not another lie. This land wearies me with boredom. He sighed and inhaled the fumes from his cup. Fane let the grimacing Huan pull him out of the room, hardly even listening to the snarled lecture on what would happen if he ever again failed to leave Lord Turak's presence when given permission to do so. He barely noticed when he was pushed into the street with a coin and instructed to return on the morrow. Rand Althor was his now. I will see him dead at last.
Man's just playing the long con.
Will pay for what was done to me. Giggling under his breath, he led his horses down into the town in search of an inn.
And the world will pay for what was done for me. Like, what happened to you, Fane? What happened? Why is Fane so, like, what happened, bro? We need backstory. We need to know what's going on. I honestly have no idea what's going on with Pat and Fane. Like, why is bro, like, powerful? Like, why can he do stuff? But it doesn't, like, seem like he can really use the one power. But the Trollocs are, like, listening to him. And I'm pretty sure he killed the Madral as well. So it's like, what? What's happening with this man? Does anybody know? I know you guys know, but I'm like, bro, what's going on with him? I don't really know what's going on with him. I'm very confused with Pat and Fane. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you, because it just seems interesting. But, yo, I really enjoyed chapter 34. It was such a fantastic chapter yet again. All of these chapters were awesome, all 5 of them. But this one, yet again, you know, it just kind of... This one was like kind of consequences and more build up at the same time. And I love that. I love that. You already know. I love the salty and the sweet and the sour and the savory. I love the mixing and mastering, and I feel like this mixed and mastered perfectly. And oh man, it's just like, yeah, like Cherie said right here, yo, I just feel so bad for Tom. Like, Tom Maryland did not deserve any of that, yo. Like, he was trying so hard to stay away from that shit. Like, he tried so hard to stay away from Rand and all the shenanigans that Rand was getting into. Because you already know, when you shenan, you're going to shenan again. You know what I mean? So, it just, man, it's just unfortunate that those shenanigans just ended up with Dina just getting just her throat slit and used as bait. Like, that's crazy. In season 1, I like Peyton Fane better in the show, but in season 2, I like Fane better in the book. Ooh, okay. I could get down for that. I could get down for that for sure, Sharice. I like that. I like that. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Because in the show, it's like Fane is everywhere. You're like, oh, and he's way more menacing. But in the book, that boy Rand just keep running his mouth to everybody, and it gets his ass in trouble time and time again. Speaking of Fane and Tom, like, he got Dana killed because he ran up to Tom and was running his mouth, and then Fane basically figured out all the stuff about him because he ran up to Fane and started running his mouth because he knew him. Like, in every instance, it's Rand running his goddamn mouth, and he need to shut the hell up. Like, I don't understand why you just keep talking and talking and talking. Like, bro, you getting yourself into the gutter, boy. You need to relax, my boy. You know? And he's not relaxing. And you know what keeps happening? People are dying. Time and time again. It's not okay. Fane literally saw Daenerys Stormborn and was like, nah, that dagger though. Yeah, exactly. That's wild. She literally pulled up in the Daenerys thing, and he was like, nah. Like, you need to get the meme of like Pat and Fane going like this, like when he's looking away, and then he's like holding the hand of the girl, and she's like, and then he's looking back, and then it sees the thing, you know what I mean? But it's like he's looking back at the dagger, and then he's holding the girl's hand, and she's like, what the hell? Yeah, that needs to be a meme if it ain't already, because that's definitely what he was doing, and that shit was comedy, man. But with all that being said, yo, I really did have a great time with these chapters tonight. These chapters that we were covering tonight, you guys. It was definitely smooth. If you guys haven't already, make sure you drop a like and a share on the Streamy Weenie, because it helps out everything that we're doing around these parts. Next week, we will be covering chapters 35 to 40. And that will be all, and we're gonna almost be done with that. With that one, it's gonna be 35 to 40 is the one that we're gonna be covering next week. I'm gonna try to be on time at 5 o'clock so we can have everybody. You know, we can have people in here. I might even try to go live a little bit earlier, depending on what's going on that day. You know, I think that'd be cool. But I'll let you guys know for sure what's going on definitively. I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all. For real. I hope to see you guys on Friday, possibly. I hope to see you guys this weekend. I'm not sure what day on this weekend, but hope to see you guys this weekend when I read my book, Gifts, the Lands of Gafora, Book 1 in Guvu. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna read about it and talk about it. I'm gonna start it off with just doing like a read. I'm gonna have all the stuff kind of off while I read what's going on in the book, and then that'll be alive, and then it'll also be up for everybody to be able to watch it afterwards. And I will also post that to the Gifts, the Lands of Gafora channel that is available on YouTube right now. You guys can also join the Discord and all that good stuff if you don't have the links. The links will be in the chat right now this second. Actually, I don't know if this command works. It should though. If it doesn't, then well, it'd be like that sometimes. But like I said, I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in with me tonight and going over these fantastical books. That's just amazing, man. It's just amazing what has been accomplished in yet another book. Like, we're about to be done with it. We have 2 more weeks and then we're going to be done with this book. We're just breezing on through these things, y'all. We're just breezing on through them. And I love it. I love it so much. So, as I've said, I can't wait to just kind of check it out, like continue these books, but also rewatch the show from the point that we're at now, because it's like, yo, I can't we're gonna have to do a rewatch party for each of these episodes now that I have been a reader, you know what I mean? Like that would be awesome to be able to do these rewatches after I've read, because it's like, okay, here's how I feel about these things now, which is something that I've kind of already touched on a little bit when in these overall thoughts that we've been doing lately. Been doing like kind of the comparison, you know, of book to show, and I think it works really well. But like I said, you guys have been great tonight. I definitely appreciate everyone that was pulling up. Again, big shout out to all of y'all. Big shout out to Lauren from Unraveling the Pattern for making a celebrity guest appearance in the chat with all of us. Yo, shout out to the dopest mods around, KP and Mari Sue. I definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in too. All y'all are definitely amazing. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their day, as I always say. You feel me? And don't forget to stay awesome, stay nerdy, and don't forget to stay marvelous. Excelsior. Sleep well and wake.
If you guys would like to support Marv Bros, all you got to do is visit our website at www.marvbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan.
Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties.
We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.
And on today's pop culture news update,
On today's pop culture news update,